Good morning, traders. I really wanted it to be a blue light day, but we all know what it is, guys. It's a red light day for us here today, guys, and we got to be a little bit careful in this market. It is not going to be good today, guys. Will it be a bounce back day though? That's what I'm asking about, guys. So we'll see what happens out there, but it isn't looking good in the markets right now. Let's take a look at what's going on right here, as we're definitely seeing some downside action come into the markets overnight. We are in the area that I did not want to be in. And I'll tell you guys, look at this. We drew this when? We drew this on the 31st. And we talked about potentially would we get to the bear market. And I didn't think it'd be this fast, guys, but we are there already, guys. And we are as low as can be, I think, overnight, guys. We gapped down there and went to a low of 482, and the gap in the 20% wasn't even at that spot, man. It was actually a little bit higher than this. So I mean, at the point of extreme, we were all the way down to 21%. So hey, there it is, guys. Just as you had a bull market really quickly, now in another bear market. And the bull market lasted what? I mean, if you put it down at that October 22, we went all the way up there and it was 2.4 years. So I think this is going to be something more common, guys, where we can have bull markets and bear markets faster than ever. And there's a big reason why is the liquidity that we have now in the markets, right? The algos, all the action that goes on. There's more trading now than there was in the past. And I think that because of that and the free commission game, it's going to cause sometimes the markets to be a little shaky. And with that being said, we just got to continue to see what happens there, guys. But definitely, it's a tough day indeed to see what we're seeing right now, which is what? Blood in the streets. But there's one thing that has been taught to me, and that's to go buying when there's blood in the streets. We'll talk a little bit about that Warren Buffett conversation, right? And we'll talk about, is today the day on the bounce? Well, let's get to today's playbook, and I'll tell you what I have up my sleeve, what I might be taking some shots in today's market. All right, traders, let's keep going. We'll see what we got up our sleeves today, looking at it to see what happens. SPY. Of course, down big, but let's get to some stocks that we could be looking for some trades today. All right, first one up we'll talk a little bit about is, of course, a kind of reversal. And I'm calling it, guys. I'm looking for a reversal action, and I'm calling on the TQQQ. And there's a big reason why. This has actually been down further than the SPY. If we look at where the Qs went down, we're talking what? We're talking 61%. That is just incredible, guys. We're not talking that's on the TQQQ, right? So let's go to the Qs, right? Overall on the Qs, let's see where I get this at the top and towards where we're at right now. We're talking 26% on the lows today. So if there's anywhere where I think the capitulation might have happened is in these tech names, right? I mean, take a look at Apple. Apple down there towards 180 from the highs, and not even the recent high, from the highs. This is down now 31%, right? Amazon is down also a big amount, right? Amazon down here, what, 32% also, a little bit further on the lows, 33%. Google also down a massive amount, right? And this is also down another 30%, right? So we're starting to see that capitulation. Take a look at NVIDIA. And you guys know, I was here talking about, I could feel that NVIDIA going back down towards the 100 double digits, and there it goes. Now we're seeing that capitulation really happening all around. NVIDIA at the lows down 43%. Are we going to get the 50% retracement level? This is where I think NVIDIA capitulates, at the 50%. And that's when we can start to go sideways, right? We'll see what happens at that level. That's down to the 83 level. So still some room that could be leaking there. But I'm looking for a little bit of a bounce back in the TQQQ. We'll see if we can get it today, guys. Can we hold this 37? That was the look that I was looking at this morning. I didn't even see this pop here towards 38 because I've been kind of busy looking at things, and it looks like that happened right as I was going to come on to the show. So there you guys see it, a nice little pop there back towards the 39. We'll see if it can hold 37. If it let goes of 37 today, that's when I'm not going to be in the bull camp, guys. I think this is one of those things where you're going to be okay playing the bounce, but understand that these bounces are going to be wicked. They're going to be really fast moves up and just as fast moves down. So I'm going to be a little bit careful. I still want to play some bounces from time to time, but it has to be on the right mode. It has to be when I feel the capitulation or oversold territory is really hitting, and we're starting to see some kind of just easy trades on the bear side. So the max pain setup, right? Where will be the max pain today? All questions to be had. Take a look at the VXX, guys, and look at the jump that we've made in just about a week, guys. I got to be honest, guys. I don't think I played this VIX move anywhere near as well as I should have, guys. This should have been a massive making opportunity for me that I did not capitalize on. I will say that 100%. I'm still a little bit upset about it, but what can you do? You just get over it and you learn. Instead of being worried about your own ego, you got to be worrying about making improvements, understanding these moments. I've run into these in the past. When the VIX is jumping, it's good money, guys. You just have to go and stay small and just ride the trend. Because if we would be able to play those pullbacks, like let's say on Wednesday on the 9 EMA, to look at the takeoff, right? Until today, that's 72% on the VXX. Crazy, crazy move, guys. Another thing is look where the Bollinger Band. This telling me that we are extended and we are breaking away from the Bollinger Bands. You can see there's certain moments in time where we've done this in the past, but a lot of the times what happens, it comes right back down, right? So we'll see what happens now. How high or higher can we go? Yeah, we can continue ripping, but I'm looking for a quick little dip here. I'd like to see an attempt to move back to the 83. So that would be a move back down in the markets. And then, of course, seeing that kind of get rejected and then to get through the 79, fill the gap a little bit, right? I'm just looking for a little bit of a gap fill back into this spot, kind of break down through that, go to the 75, and then we'll look to see if we get a recovery. But this is just a quick term trade right out the gates. You got to be fast if you're going to be playing this. Now, another way, if you want to play the continued bear side action, and I don't think that that's going to turn anytime soon. I'm talking really short term with these other plays, but in the middle term, intermediate term to long term, what am I looking for? What about another trade on gold? Because I think gold is just getting started and it's going to keep kind of strong here. It has had a nice little pullback on AU. We've had a pullback already of like 15%. So that's a nice little pullback area. Now I need to see if the 50 EMA can hold, right? Like kind of like we did here where we pulled back really fast. We pulled back about 13 to 14% here and eventually 15% on the low. And then we recovered that 50 EMA, making the next drive higher. Can we get another one like that? We'll look to seeing what happens there. Of course, the 50 EMA at 32.60. We'll be watching to see what happens with gold, of course. We'll find out what happens there, guys. All right, guys, that's going to be it for my playbook outlook. You got to continue to watch what happens in the market right now. You got to be nimble because at any point in time, you can get one tweet, and one tweet can change this market, guys. On Friday, I was live on Stock Trader Network, which is part of the premarket team, and we were talking about different trades and what happened. Well, it was the Vietnam trade, the Vietnamese trade, and we started to see certain names kind of get rebounds, right? We saw right there get a little bit of a rebound. Restoration Hardware get a little bit of a rebound. Nike get a little bit of a rebound, right? We'll see if these names can come back. Those are names to look at to see if you can go ahead and jump on the trend. And we got tons of names to take a look at today. I have a huge list, guys. You know, Money Mitch is working hard for you guys in the background here. I got names from every country that we can be watching for, a shopping list ready to go right here Trade the pool. Smash the like for that, guys. And all you guys tuning in on X, hit the like button, hit the retweets. I'm going to do so myself right now, guys. I'm super excited for the day. I came prepared. The shopping list is ready, guys, and you got to have your shopping list in this environment. And it's important to know what countries are getting what tariffs, what stocks are with what companies, right? Because this is what we're going to target today, because there could be at any moment a mention of, let's say, I don't know, maybe it's China, maybe it's Indonesia, maybe it's India, whatever country it is, maybe it's the EU, but there's certain stocks that could be affected by it. You have to know these names fast, because if you don't, you're going to be late to the party and chasing. All right, guys, you guys hit the likes out there on X. I'm hitting the repost out there. Let's get some more traders in here. Let's go ahead and do that. If you guys can do that for me, I'd appreciate it. And like always, take a look at it. Take a look at us on X, throwing up the link here for any reason you don't have it. It's good to see you out there, Shane. Different names in the chat, like always. Steph getting after it. SQQQ, the 3-day challenge. We'll talk about it just coming up right now. Nikaya, how we doing out there? Let's get after it today. Vic, what's up? What's up? How we doing? And is that meow in the chat? Yeah, I love it. I love it. Nothing like a good old cat in the chat. We all need our cat friends out there. Hopefully we got 9 lives today in this market. Let's keep it going. What else is out there? And let's take a look at what's moving in the markets. We'll get to the Sunrise Report coming up here, where we talk about what stocks are moving and why, of course. But definitely excited to talk about the competition today. We'll talk a little bit more about this when Michael comes on, as we get more traders, right? But there's a big move today to battle, guys, and you guys got to get ready to battle today, because there could be some nice rewards up your sleeve. Hint, hint. Coming up right now, guys. We'll talk a little bit about it. I'm going to wait till Michael comes on, because I feel like if I give it up without him being on here, I feel like I'm doing him a dishonor. But I'll give you guys this little sneak peek. It's coming. It's coming. The 3-day challenge starting today. Get the details, guys. Buying the Trump dip? We'll have to find out, guys. We'll have to find out. Is it the moment to buy it? Is it the moment to sell it? Who knows? Only one way to find out. Got to wait for the market to open here, and we'll see what happens. All right, guys, let's take a look around there. VXX right now trading a little bit lower, right? And we've seen it already kind of fade here. Will we see a little bit of a takedown right here before the open? I'm actually aware for that move, guys. I'm looking at it. The only thing is, it's like, what do I trade, right? Do I trade the TQQQ here to the upside, or do I trade the VXX? Well, in the pre-market, I have to look at more of the TQQQ. Why? Because it's cheaper, and I can afford that right now, right? So let's see if we get this move right here. I'm already starting to see some action here. I might take a TQQQ trade right now, guys. Let's see if I can grab it here. Wow, that was fast, guys. That is a big move there, guys. I'm trying to grab some here. It is moving fast here, guys. Let me see if I can grab some here on the pullback. Man, that moved so fast, guys. I'm trying to get an order out there. Let's see if I can do it. See if I can get something filled here. All right, let's see. I put it out there, 38.20s. Let's see if I can get filled here. There you go. I got a little fill there, guys. It wasn't a big one, but got one on the pullback there. And it's only 50 shares here, but taking a shot there long on the TQQQ here. Let's see if we can break the 39. If we break the 37, I know I need to get out. So let's see what happens here. I'm going to take a little bit of a shot here. It's starting in the pre-market here. Getting a pullback to the 38 spot. This is kind of like where I wanted to get in. So let's see if we get a little bit of a pullback here off the 38s, maybe a little bit lower, and I can get another fill here. All right, looking to see if we can break through the 39s here. I don't mind adding if we start to really push here. So let's see it, guys. Let's make some easy cash this morning, and then look to see if we can just take a little bit of a cushion here. All right, nice little throwback look. Just needed to start making the move here. Looking for a little bit of a pullback fill if I need to get a little bit more, but looking for the break through the 38.80s, which would be on the upside of this, breaking through on a trend line. And a lot of this is just looking for a rebound. I think the bulls are capitulated. They're definitely let go. And I think that's another reason why we got the downside action. People didn't want to be long over the weekend. Now you're seeing the disaster from that. Now let's start seeing if we can start climbing, start working our way back here, right? Maybe to 40.27 on the first move. Around 40 is like upside look here. Let's see if we can get it. A bunch of wicks in this area, so breaking that 37.28 will be a concern. Now we're starting to make the move here at 38.50s. Let's see if this can really get the push. Reason why I'm looking for this to kind of happen early is that it can make sense for the price action to kind of run away from us today, so that you feel like you have to chase if you want to take part in a little bit of the rally. One thing is also certain is that you need to be able to let it go today and be able to get in and out. That's the one thing I'm keeping in mind, is that this doesn't have to be the breakout right now. It just definitely got strong there. There was some good amount of volume. I'm sure I'm not the only one that was looking for that 38 break, because it went fast at 38.80. Getting a little pullback below that 38.20s, but it's holding in well there. Let's see if it starts to take now and go into 38.80s. All right, we'll go to a 5-minute chart so we can get a little bit faster in on the watch now. Another thing to look for is a little bit of a trend line approach, right? So you broke this trend line, kind of holding it. Now you're starting to see the move back towards the 15-minute trend line, 38.50s. Let's see if it can break the 39 and really start pushing towards the 40 here. And we have a nice little trade in the pre-market here. All right, there's the first lift there, now towards the 38.50s. Now I'm starting to get a little bit tighter with my ad. I'm pulling it up there towards the 38.05s, trying to start to see this push towards the 38.60s. Once I see that 60s break, I might go for a little ad on the pullback here, but let's see if we can really get the breakout here. All right, traders, catching in with you guys in the chat. What's going on out there, guys? Need details about the 3-day challenge. Stick around, guys. We're going to be talking about that at 9 a.m. coming up in just 7 minutes, guys. The 3-day trading challenge, and it's all about trading and making cash. That's the one hint I'll give you guys right now. So if you want to go ahead and partake in the challenge, stick around. In just 7 minutes, I'll announce everything you need to know about the competition here. All right, guys, there it is, 38.40s, 38.60s. It's trying to make the move here. Let's see if we can get it to start making the push towards the 38.60s. All right, there's a little bit of a push here now towards the 38.58s. There it goes. Come on, break it. There's a little bit of a wall here at the 56, 59s. So I see a little wall there between the 53s now and 57s. So that's where it's struggling. That's where it keeps running into a little bit of a wall there. Let's see if we can get through that wall and then actually make the bigger breakout here. Here's a push there to the 56, 54s. Still running into that little wall here, but now we're getting a little bit of some bid support. So we could rewind here off the 40s and actually make the attempt towards the 50s here. Let's see if we can get it. All right, holding in well here. Let's see if we can start to break out through the 50s now. No breakout there. Still holding in there, but holding up towards the 38.40s. We're still getting a higher low effect here. So looking good here. Let's see if we can start to break through that 54s. Keep getting a repeat seller into those 50s. We need to get through the 38.50s here to see that next push. There we go, starting to approach it there, and it keeps running into it and just pulling back off of it. So repeat selling going on in that 38.50s. All right, pulling back my ad there. There's no reason to have it up there if we keep pulling back here. We might approach right back into our entry here, at least my entry. So just being smart with it here. There's the 58 break. Now we're starting to approach that 60 break. There's the 60 break. Looking for a small little pullback off of this, and then going to go ahead and go for the ad. There we go, through the 68s, the 70s, and now we're looking for the breakout there. Here comes the small pullback here. All right, trying to add now. Let's see if I get the ad. There you go. I'm in the ad at 38s, 37s now, my average. Let's see if we can really get this moving here, guys. And I'll show you guys it all right here, guys. I'm scrolling up here so you guys can see the entry right there. right underneath you guys. Let's see if this can really start making the move. I don't have a big position because it's pre-market. Don't have too much buying power, of course, but hey, let's see if we can work this and make a little bit of some cash, make a little bit of a nice little starter move here. Let's see if we can get this break through the 38.80s and going through 39.50s. Let's go. Nice little TQQQ trade here to start the day here. Nice little move here, and looking for the break through the 39s. I'll sell into the rip into the 39s. I got no problem selling into it here. Let's see if we can get a nice little breakout through the 39s and sell into it. If I need to, also got to be willing to sell here. And one of the things that can help you is having the order already on the screen here. So I'm going to put it already out there and ready to cover if I need to, if it starts pulling back. All right, little pullback off of that 38.80s break here. We're holding here, but we're not getting above this 38.80s. You can see it pulled back on the 5-minute. We're looking for a close above this, so we still got a little bit of time left, about 3 minutes, but we could get a pullback to 38.14, so you got to keep that in mind. Nice little rebuy there off of the 40 area here. Let's see if it starts to make the move through the 60s and back in towards the 39s. 55s hit. There's the 59s for a second. Let's see if we get back into the 60s here. All right, let's use some of our momentum indicators, right? So we can use a lot of things, right? One of the things I want to start trying to kind of give you guys more and more is those looks on those indicators and how you can be using them to gain an advantage. Right. So in this case, I'm looking for the 5-minute to stay cross and continue to drive higher. Right. We're looking for that nice move higher. Let's see if we get it. We're back towards the 38.60s. So we're definitely getting to that spot where we need to make that run. Let's see if we can get that run now. All right. Here's a nice little approach back towards the 38.70s. Now let's see if we really get that run to really start to push through the highs. Pre-market high is going to be important. Pre-market high is 39.25. That's where we're looking to get through. Let's see if we can get through that, and then I can look to sell on a breakout through that. All right, holding in there, guys. All right, let's get to the sunrise report. We'll talk a little bit more about stocks moving. I'll try to keep an eye out on this trade. It's not a bad trade to start it off here. It's 8:58, though. We got to go ahead and keep moving, guys. There's stocks to talk about, so let's get to it, guys. I'm not even going to hit the trigger. I'll just talk about these stocks. I'll move towards it. I'll keep focusing on the trade here. Might need to get out. I'm not really getting the continued breakout here, and it might reload here back down through the 38.40, so could be getting out here, guys, and then just looking to reload back in towards the open. If we don't get the breakout here, I'm probably just going to get out here. So I'm trying to hold off the 38.40 area right now, because I got 36. Comes the 40s to approach. There's 37. Held for a second there at the 40s, so I'm giving it a chance to recover those 40s. It's not being able to hold very well there, so it needs to rebound right here. If not, I'm going to get out here. There's a slight dip there. Quick recovery back through the 40s, so it seems like we're getting some stop outs at the 35s there. Right back here towards the 47s, here in the 31s here for a second there. There's a gap down move there, back to the 38s there. So looking to go ahead and try to get out on this pullback there, but that was quick action there. See if we get a reload on this 38 and it comes right back through the 38.40s here. All right, let's get to the show here. Michael should be here any second there. It's 9 a.m., guys. We got a lot to talk about. I'm going to kick the sunrise report into the show. So let's go ahead. Let's just do the countdown. We'll talk about the competition. That's what you guys, I know, excited to hear about. I know that you guys aren't too crazy about this trade. I'm just going to go ahead and focus on it. We'll talk about the competition starting up right now. Let's kick the show off. Google wants 200, baby. You ready to get back to the trading action?
You aim, you shoot, and make money.
It's going to be a great day. You guys know where you're at.
What's going on, traders? How we doing out there? It's another beautiful day here on the show, and I'm excited to tell you guys about the buy the Trump dip competition, guys. And it's going to be a good one indeed, guys. We got a lot to talk about here. As, of course, like always, we're bringing you guys some more opportunities, guys. So, like, one of the number one things that we always like to do is have some fun, too. So we brought you guys this competition, and it's all about running for the next 3 days. So it's about a challenge for the next 3 days, and how do you win, right? Well, you win by winning the most money. So it's going to be in tiered way. And so every price level, every buying power is going to have two winners. The two winners will be winning the two winners in each one will be winning the 5K flex evaluation. So let's keep it going, guys. It's going to be 10 total winners from those highest P&Ls on each tier. And there's a bonus, an added bonus, guys. So that anybody that opens an account right now, guys, it opens it up today, and passes in just 3 days, you'll get another free 25K max eval on top of that, right? So you'll be able to get funded and then have another one working in the background. Can't be mad about that, guys. So get after it right now. The Buy Trump Dip Challenge. And this does not mean that you need to buy, right? You can hit the sell if you want to sell the Trump Challenge, right? It's all about what you're looking forward towards, right? And the key here, making high P&Ls. So if you do it, you'll be able to win some of these evals, right? The 5K evals. And the challenge runs for just 3 days. So let me know how it goes. I'll be announcing the winners right here on the show live. So smash the like for that, guys, like always. And I just remembered Michael is being out today. So it's just me on the show. Just Money Mitch. Well, that means we got a lot to talk about, guys. And you know what that means? It's a bear show because I'm feeling pretty bearish. But I'm still trying to ride these quick plays here. Let's see what happens, guys. The TQQQ not holding on this 38s right now. Might need to cut it if it cuts the 38 again here. Looking for the recovery in the TQQQ, but always got to keep in mind that in the pre-market, it's not the time to just get caught with your pants down. Let's be honest. All right, we'll talk a little bit about the Sunrise Report coming up here, where we can look for some trades. Let's get to it. Sunrise Report time. All right, guys, we are flirting with bear market territory today. We'll see how we recover towards the open. But, of course, last week was historic with the S&P 500 down 6% on Friday and down 10% in 48 hours. So crazy action, of course, not expected. And the Nasdaq officially in a bear market. So that was down 22 and it went further. You guys saw it. It's a crazy move. In the White House, doubling down. Trump saying sometimes you have to take medicine to fix something. And that's what's going on with the markets right now. He needs to take the medicine, and that means markets getting wrecked here. Commerce Secretary Ludwig saying the tariffs are not going anywhere. Treasury Secretary Basson saying that 50-plus countries are in talk, but no quick fixes right now. So a lot of countries trying to talk about what's going on as China, of course, clapped back 34% on all U.S. imports. So no more negotiation. It's escalations in China and not looking good there. The sector check. Let's take a look there, guys, as the autos are getting absolutely crushed. Take a look at Ford. Take a look at GM. Absolutely getting annihilated here as Stellantis is down 9%. GM Ford down 5%. It is not looking good here in the market out there with GM really getting hit hard there. We'll see what happens on the action, but hey, it's not looking good for the auto manufacturers. We're going to talk about some of these like Toyota Motors coming up. I got shopping lists for everybody out there. Money Mitch coming in like Santa today with the shopping list, and I'm checking it twice. Let's keep going. Let's talk about different trades out there. Tesla in trouble. Yes, it is, guys. And you guys know I was talking about it. Looks like my lunch bet is going to work here, guys. Michael, if you're listening in, you might owe me some lunch, man. And I am not a cheap lunch kind of guy. I want some good sandwiches. Getting the hit here on the TQQ, guys. About to get out there. You guys have it. I took the hit there. Had to take the hit. As it could bounce back, but not going to take a major beating right here in the pre-market. Got to give myself the ability to keep trading. But Tesla down to 225, could break the 220s. Actually, I'm looking for it to get towards the 200. It could happen today. Tesla down big here, guys. It looking like it wants to continue to fall, and I don't see it bouncing back anytime soon. And Dan Ives putting out there and cutting his price target, blaming self-created brand issues. So essentially, a hit towards Elon Musk. Dan Ives saying, Elon, you're causing the pain in Tesla. It's not the stock. Well, there you guys have it there. Big tech bleeding, of course. We've talked about how big tech has been down, whether it be Apple, right? Apple down big, guys, down 4%. NVIDIA down 6%. Meta down 4%. Alphabet, Amazon, Microsoft, you name it. It's not looking good, guys. And Bitcoin, trouble, guys. Take a look at Coinbase, down 9% now. MicroStrategy, down 10%. Mara, down 11%. And Riot, down another 9%. CleanSpark, down to $6. Careful with the miners. And Bitcoin is dragging, and it don't look like it's changing anytime soon. And the banks, also sputtering, guys. I talked about how we needed XLF to hang in there. We needed the XLI to hang in there, and it's the actual opposite. We got the destruction in those spaces. JPM down 4%. Citi, Goldman, all of them down big. Take a look at this KRE, guys, the regional bank, and it's not looking good in regional banks either. This is why I'm talking about maybe SKRE as a play. Short the regional banks? No way. Well, of course, Money Mitch has been talking about that for years. And I talked about how it would come into play during 2025. It was all about the CRE, the commercial real estate loans coming back into play. So just something that I'm putting in the background and thinking about. And Palantir plummeting, of course, down 9%, down 13% last week. PLTR, not looking good, guys. It came from that 124, now down the 70s, and it could be down further. I see at least 50%. That's down to 60s. But it could be even further, guys. We could be back down at $50, $30 for Palantir. Ooh, that's going to be tough for some of the bulls that believe that Palantir was the next NVIDIA. And it did have an NVIDIA-like move. But if you didn't take profits, well, it could just be just like that in the market. The guys that don't take profits are just as good as the guys that lost in the trade. They don't make money. And if you're not making money, well, that's not what we're here for, guys. Let's talk about China. And as the ADRs are struggling, BABA all the way back down to the 200 moving average. Is this a buying opportunity in China? Or has the dynamics changed and they're going to go further lower? PDD was my short look on Thursday and Friday. Temu, I feel like, will absolutely get destroyed during this time. And PDD could be back down there towards 50. So I just don't see China as names that we can look for upside now. It is looking dangerous out there. FXI now down big, guys. And it doesn't look good around in the markets today, guys. So we need to be careful. One bright spot, the Dollar Tree hanging on by a thread here, guys. Citi actually upgrading it, calling it a dark horse winner. I don't know. I can't believe this, but we'll have to see what happens there. Machinery stocks getting the downgrade today, guys. Caterpillar, URI, Cummings, Picard. Guys, it is not looking good out there, guys. That's more disaster in the industrial space and not looking good. Of course, the markets are reeling. The trade war isn't just talk anymore. It's tariffs. tech tremors, and trouble across the board here. Is it time for the shakeout, or is it time for some more downside action? That's what you need to be asking yourself. It's going to be a tough market. Let's just say that for sure. Let's keep battling in the markets. We're going to see what happens today. I'm looking for a little bit of a bounce, but gotta wait to find out, guys. Gotta wait to find out. All right, guys, we'll see what else is out there. Let's see what we can do today, guys. I'm trying to trade often. I don't have too much to trade, right? I'm going to probably trade small and just try to get some nice little base hits. But let's take a look at what we can do today, guys. We'll be looking around. One of the things also is that I'm not seeing much rotation in the market, and that's not a good sign. All right, guys, we'll keep talking about the challenge. So if you guys have any questions about the challenge, keep throwing them up in the chat. Today is definitely that day where I'll be looking to catch that in the chat. So, of course, there's 10 winners. Top P&L in each tier is taking a prize. You'll see it at the bottom there, guys. And if you have any questions, of course, reach out to us. We're always willing to talk more about it. The winners will be announced right here in the live trading room on Thursday. So don't miss out that, guys. What a beast on JNVR. Yeah, there's been some small caps making some crazy moves this morning. I didn't catch them, man, because I was looking all around at like different action. Sometimes I'm focused on those names. Sometimes I'm, kind of looking around here. And just give me 1 second here, guys. I'm having some charting issues there. There we go. Oof. I was about to say, did my charting system just kind of freeze up? So JNVR. I was wondering why I didn't get that right. There it is. Woof. Look at that thing. Absolute rocket ride, guys. This thing just absolutely shooting from 845. It was down at $5. It just went through 15. This is one that I could look at maybe potentially to short, but for right now, it's an absolute rocket ride, guys. It's up there almost to $15. We'll see what happens with this one. It has made 1, 2 moves. It could still make a third move and then fail. So it's nothing that I'm looking at right now, but man, really strong move there. Details on the 3-day challenge. We're talking about it. We'll keep talking about it, Kumar. If you have any questions or anybody in the chat, throw them up in the chat. That's what the chat's there for, you guys. Let's keep going. All right, guys, seeing that pullback, it did get back to the 38s on the TQQQ, but we're just chopping around at it. We'll see what happens towards the open here. All right, guys, we need to kind of continue to see what's going on in the markets, but a little bit of some back and forth on Friday. Talked about that we could be in that bearish market, and I'm thinking, is this the bull capitulation day? Is this the day where they cut the bulls and they just completely destroy them? It could happen out the gates. We could still see some further downside action and then the bounce come in. So that's what I'm looking at in the markets. What's going to happen today? There's no guarantees, I'll tell you that. And I'm not feeling too positive, but I do think that we're due for at least a little bounce. And I'm looking at the Qs. Why? Because they're the ones that are down the furthest. They got in the bear markets on Friday, not Monday. The SPY just hit the bear market, right? But one thing's certain, we're not really getting a drive back today, and we're not getting a lot of volume. So could we go back to the lows? Yeah, we could definitely do it. So I think you got to be really careful with your trading today, and smaller than ever, because the volatility is as high as it's ever been, right? I mean, if we think about it this way, and I'll pull up an ATR here. Look, ATR here, guys, at $13 on the SPY. Look at when's the last time we were at $13 on the SPY? Where were we? We were in the bear market of 2022, right? And it lasted what, like a year, the bear market, right? So don't forget that, right? And when did we get into the bear market? Well, we got into the bear market at 20%, and then we only went down to 24%. We've gone down fast here, guys. That's one thing I think that traders need to realize. We've gone down pretty fast in just a couple of months. So will this just be as quick of a bear as it was in the pandemic, where it was only 2 months? Will we have a 2-month bear market? We got to find out, team. I don't think it's going to be 2 months. I think there's a lot of trouble here, and there's a lot of things that need to change for things to get back to the froth that we saw in 2024. All right, let's keep it going, traders. Let me look around to see what's out there. And if you guys are watching on X, I see a lot of you guys tuned in here. Do me the favor, hit the like, hit the retweet. We need to get some more out there and want to see some more traders joining us right here. I see a couple of likes, a couple of retweets there. Let's get some more out there, guys. And of course, if you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button. Let's get some more out there. All right, looking around to see what else is out there. And knock, knock, Jerome better answer the door because Donald Trump stating that oil prices are down. Interest rates are down also. And the slow-moving Fed should cut rates. Look at this, guys. Did you guys read this tweet, right? And of course, oil prices are down. Food prices are down also. There's no inflation. The long-time abuse the USA is bringing in with billions of dollars a week from abusing countries on tariffs that are already in place. This is despite the fact that the biggest abuser of them all, China, whose market are crashing, just raised its tariff by 34% on top of its long-term ridiculously high tariffs here, not acknowledging my warning for abusing countries not to retaliate. So it's not looking good here. It's not looking like they're letting down. I think all things to be thinking about, right? We'll see what happens, guys. Be careful out there in this market. It isn't going to be easy. That's things for sure. All right, guys, let's start going through some of the list of companies that you guys can be looking at to get a list of names for each country, right? So I asked a couple of countries to kind of think about what kind of stocks we could actually look at in each one. It's not as easy as it looks. I still got to kind of decipher through some of this, but of course, Taiwan is kind of easier. You got Taiwan Semiconductor, got Delta Electronics. I'm still going through the list. I got so much to go through there, guys, but I think it's important to think about. Of course, there's like in Japan, Toyota Motors, Sony, Honda, SoftBank, and names like that. You have to have the shopping list ready. You have to know what stocks move with what stocks, right? So like it could be, Louis Vuitton or names like that, even Porsche, names like that. They're struggling here, guys. So LVMH, right? It trades on the pink, but it's $112. This is going down pretty fast. This is Moet Hennessy, Louis Vuitton. And if for anything would change in, let's say, the tariffs for the European Union, this would get a big jump in prices. So if you're looking for trades, I think that's one way to look at it. The same way that we got the bounce in some of the names in Vietnam, right? And that's an important thing to look at, guys. So got to continue to watch to see what happens with these. There's so many names that could be getting a jump, right? Remember the smaller company, the Zap? Well, the Zap is getting destroyed because it's in Thailand. It's making the vehicles there. And that's not going to help it, right? This thing got to $15 at some point in 2024. So it just goes to show you guys that, hey, there's a lot of these companies that are going to be making quick moves, and we got to be careful with all this tariff action. We got to know what stocks I want to trade when certain news comes out. And we got to be keeping our head on the swivel because it's going to be a lot about news in this environment. If you want to know what the market's looking for, it's looking for just not bad news. Just don't give me bad news. It's what it's looking for, guys. All right, let's keep going. We'll see what else is out there. We'll see what we can come up with. But battling here in the markets today. Let's see what else is out there, man. It's going to be that type of day. I'm going to be keeping my eye on, of course, like Benzinga Pro, to be watching the news tape to see what happens there, right? If anything is really showing up on the tape, I'll let you guys know. I know a lot of people are going to be watching to see if there's any kind of conversation coming from Trump, any conversation coming from the Fed, right? That's what you got to be looking out right now. I'm looking around at different conversations that are in the market, looking in the streets there. They're just talking about that tweet right now on different places. Of course, the Mag 7 down significantly, but I'm looking to see if we can get a bump, man. It'd be nice. It'd be nice to get a bump. Michael, are you tuning
You
in on
doing?
the audio side? What's going on, man?
I'm calling in today. No camera guys. I had a little medical thing, but man, I couldn't leave everybody. So I'll pop in for a little bit. I can leave everyone on a Black Monday. What are you doing? So
Oh man, it's
here hanging out.
the quickest bear market it feels like ever. The only other time I can remember it is the pandemic where it came down this fast. Because it's
Yeah.
been pretty fast. I mean, when you think about it, it's been less than 2 months, and we're in bear market territory.
Yeah, I don't think many expected, but myself included, right? I went into the year saying, "Oh, it'll probably be a choppy year," and
Yeah.
even if we're back at highs, that's still a wild chop, crazier than I would have expected.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. I was listening to you a little bit, and everyone just kind of pins and needles. The funniest Twitter account this weekend had to be Bill Ackman. I don't know if you were following that at all, because Bill Ackman's been a big Trump guy for a long time now, and his tweets are getting like progressively more terrified as they go on. So we're really in a situation, it seems like whoever blinks first. My bet, if I had to make a bet, like bullet to my head right now, is that at some point, right, they'll get enough concessions that they can claim victory, and then turn it all back off, and that will be the face ripper. But good luck predicting when that's going to happen.
Yeah, it's not looking good, man, and it's just there's still trouble to be had here, guys, because the real key is, okay, so the tariffs are coming in, right, but they're not weighing in on the inflation and the pressures on the consumers right now. We've not yet seen the effects. A lot of people are just they're putting pauses on inventory sent in or out, right, of countries right now. And I think that we need to wait to see what happens in the next couple of weeks, because it's going to be important. If they still play hardball, well, yeah, we could start to see worse things, and we could start seeing actual inflation pressures coming. So we need to be looking at that. I think that's what the Fed's going to be watching. And so what will they do? They will be late. Even though Trump this morning making more comments about how the Fed is late to the game and should be cutting already. Well, guess what? That tells me more and more that the Fed isn't going to cut, that the Fed is not breaking to the pressures of Donald Trump. And so with that being said, we got to hold on to our horses, at least in the intermediate term and long term, Michael. I'm pretty bearish in B right now.
And this is worst case scenario for the Fed, right? Because we always got to remind people the Fed have two mandates. One is inflation, and the other is jobs.
Yeah.
And the problem with this whole tariff thing is that it's got a chance to. And tariffs are inflationary, right? If you're charging more for your stuff, they're going to pass that down. But at the same time, this could, if the market gets really, really bad, this could cost jobs. So the reason the word stagflation is so terrifying is because the Fed can't cut its way out. If it's we just lost a lot of jobs, and say the consumer starts to suffer and all these things, but inflation's down, well, great. Well, the Fed's got tools for that. It can do some quantitative easing, it can lower interest rates, it's got tools to deal with a slowing economy. That's actually no big deal, right? Slowing economies actually very rarely these days lead to recessions. The problem is, if we're getting inflation as well, they can't. It's basically, you've got to decide, what side of the market are you going to kill? Because if people are starting to lose jobs and the economy is slowing and inflation is going on, well, they either don't cut rates to manage the inflation, or they do cut rates to spike up the economy. But either way, right, it's like they only have bad outcomes. So that's going to be the real problem for Jay Powell, is he's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. Is if he lowers rates and the tariffs are still on, it's going to make the inflation even worse. And if he stays where he is, well, people are going to lose jobs, and the economy is going to slow. So that guy probably is really regretting his choice of jobs. He could have gotten probably a nice professorship at an econ school somewhere and made some decent money and been on vacation right now. So
yeah. I think, one of the things is it's a tough job that he has in the first place. So it ain't going to be easy there, guys. Definitely. You got to find out, guys, what happens. And I think the important part is that nobody knows right now. how's this is going to play out. Everyone's just taking analysis and taking bets. That's what the market is. Regardless of anyone want to think of something, you're always taking bets. That's what the market is, guys. And I think that right now we need to see what bet plays out, right. And I think that you can take bets yourself. I think that that's the important thing, is taking some bets, right, and then trying to play small, because this market is not going to be easy here, and definitely you need to see what happens, guys.
Yeah, I think
easy market, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, and the problem with the question I think everyone's got to ask themselves is, are they looking to buy, and what and how much, right? Because I don't think, even if the market went down another 10% from here, I don't think shorting's the move, because the problem is you've got that risk of just a complete face ripper of a rally, which we know is coming at some point. We don't know when, but we know at some point we're going to wake up with the markets up 5-6%. So, you'll see stocks like the Mag 7 will be up 10-15%. It's going to happen soon. We just don't know when. So you got the risk there. Volatility is spiked. So you can't even buy puts, because if the market drifts lower, then you won't make any money there. So yeah, it becomes a game of, what are you going to buy and when? But I just couldn't agree with Mitch more. This is the time to day trade. This is the best time out there to be someone who is, these are the times where I wish I was exclusively a day trader, right? Spending every night cash and going back into the market the next day. But for the swing trading side of it, it's just one of those things where, you're just waiting for, you're waiting for the bounce. You don't know when it's going to happen, but I think you make a list and you have that list ready to go for when the bounce comes in, and you try to time it, and then you buy the dip and you sell the rip, and you move on with your day.
That's it. Can't be mad about that. I'm going to be approaching it in the same way there, looking to see what happens with the TQQQ today. Is I'm looking to see if we get the capitulation move that I think we could get today. I mean, one of the things is for sure, the Nasdaq was in bear markets on Friday, so it very much could happen today where we get the action there. There is, of course, some small stocks still moving here. That GNVR breaking back through the 15s, guys. I'm going to be watching this out the gates. I might take a small trade, trying to trade that as JNVR. Crazy stock out there. Michael, any last words? Are you going to stick around for the open, or you got to get going? I don't mind if you got to get going here.
No, I'll probably hang around for the first half hour, and then I'll duck out. I'm all done with. I'm back from the. It's crazy how efficient the medical system can be. Sometimes I'm back, but I've been told to lie down. That's why I'm in bed right now trading.
Take it easy, my friend. You let us know what you're seeing in the markets. I'll be talking, of course, and if anybody has a look into the market or any stock you guys want to check out, definitely throw it up. Savage Money Trading. I like that name in the chat. It's good to see you out there, new face out there. And anybody asking about the competition, look at the bottom bar below. Look at the pinned chat. I'll keep going through it throughout the show, but just wanted to tell you guys a little bit more about it, of course. We've already talked about it. Open's going to come here, but like always, it's a competition. Next 3 days, each tier will have 2 prizes. So let's say in the 100,000, there's 2 prizes there. Each tier of eval. So what you got to do is get the top award, right? The top P&L for these next 3 days. You're going to reward a 5,000 flex evaluation that will be coming to you. Another bonus, though, is anybody that buys an eval today. This is especially important. You buy this eval today, you pass in just 3 days, well, you get an extra 25K max eval just given to you, right? So then you'd have a funded one, and then you'd get a next one right there. And doesn't mean you can buy a smaller one. You could buy one of the 5,000 accounts, right? Pass it 3 days, get that 25,000. Who knows? Get after it, traders. We'll see what happens.
So just watching. We're open now. Just watching the first couple ticks of the SPY. Hey, we've got a pretty big range from pre-market high to pre-market low. So that's something we have to. We just certainly got to keep an eye on. I think the pre-market lows are where kind of everyone and their dog are focusing on. That's 482-ish on the SPY. So again, that's going to be interesting to see if we get there and we do a little bit of flush higher. then that
Ooh.
might be a place to take the SQQQ or something like that.
All right, TQQ starting out the gates down she goes here, guys. I'm looking at AU, of course, to see what happens with gold and different action, but that JNVR should be going into a hole any second here, going up to the 1630s here. Big push here now towards 1660s, guys. It's definitely on the third move here. It's the A, B, C, D type of attempt here. So I could see some topping out, but right now the 9 EMA holding well. We got up there almost to 17, now pulled back to 15. Now we're going right back to the 9 EMA approach where you're going to get some buyers that try to buy this 15 pullback. It's either buy the 15 pullback or it just collapses through the 14. We'll see what happens here on JNVR.
A little bit. I'm watching Tesla here. Again, one of the ones that have been kind of the most relatively strong, and a little bit of a push off the open. Yeah.
Well, the relatively least weakest.
Yeah. Well, that's the key word, I guess. There being relative, and that's actually getting a little bit of a pop off the open here.
Yeah, not looking too bad there.
So I've got TSLL loaded up. You guys can see here. So just looking to see if this closes. If it closes green there, then that's the AVWEP play. So I'll look to maybe buy some TSLL if it holds there. And then I think for this one, I'm just going to pop in a pre-market low stop or a stop at, this kind of 640 area. And we get 2-day VWAPs all the way up at $8. So it's, you're risking 50 cents to make $1.50 or so there. So that'd be a decent little look. And again, this is what I'm talking about for Tesla. Again, relatively strong. And again, I'm just going down to the March 25 lows, right? Because the SPY has dropped 10% below those March lows, and then Tesla, for now, anyway, is holding that zone. So I'm just trying to look for any bastion of strength in this market.
Well, there goes Tesla right through the low, but JNVR. Man, that could have been one attacking out the gates there. I had that feeling it'd do a pop and drop. It was hard to measure what pop would be like there. It went up there to 17. It's right back down to 14 and a hole. So definitely could have been a nice one to trade there. Penny stock right back to the downside there. 14, 12s in a hole.
Yeah, and that's another great place or a great point of places to go in this market. You look for stocks with, fresh catalysts, a drug being approved, something like that. It's not going to care about this market. So that's what we're looking for. Where, we're not looking. We want to make sure that things aren't really that don't really care. Right. We want that kind of nice move on something crazy. Palantir is another one that I'm watching here. You can see on the list. Pretty big opening drive. Again, bucking a bit of the market trend. First 5 minutes are down. Palantir up for the first 5 minutes. So that'll be another one that I'll take a look at. Again, just trying to find some areas to potentially buy some pops.
Yeah, I can't blame you, man. There's also penny stock Sunni, Sun Nation Energy. It's a solar stock. That's not a bad name to look at today. Reason why is if we could get an up move in technology, I always like solar in those times. It's like the momentum play, like the AMD in tech. All right, something like that. So SUNE, it's a 50-cent stock there, but maybe it gets to $1. That's 100% gain if it could do that. It's not a bad looking name there. SUNE.
Yeah, that's gap all the way to $1, and we know the dollar.
Don't mind it.
Hugely important level, right? Companies are always going to try to push their stock back to $1. Because if you're under $1, you get delisted. So yeah, sometimes there's some good shenanigans there of the company buying its own stock or reaching out to market makers to try to push it a little bit higher. So on any good news, that'd be interesting. And then through $1, you've got, these guys might stay listed on the exchange. Maybe we get involved there a little bit. So yeah, it's a good look.
Yeah, it's not a bad name in the right space for me today. So we'll see. I might trade it here. I mean, I have to go heavy size with it if I do.
Yeah, the one thing I'll always say is just be careful of the 10-cent limitation when you're trading cheap ones, right?
Yeah, you have to at least get that. So
And that's a rule to stop people. For those who don't know, you just have to make 10 cents on your, at least 10 cents on the trade for it to count. And that's to prevent people from, trying to manipulate the systems and do all kinds of weird, funky things. So,
Yeah.
So far, I think we're 2 candles down. We've got the pre-market low there marked. Might actually be one to look at the ES to see if there was
BJDX, another stock, and a halt, but this one on the upside. This one was up big in the morning. It did pull back a significant amount before this, about 26%. It's right back up. It's over 154% on the day. So we have 3 or 4 stocks up over 100% today. So small caps still moving out there.
Yeah, Palantir is put in that green candle to say, hey, buy here. So I'm going to look to get involved in this name. Again, smaller, just taking small shots on trying to figure out some pops or some names that are relatively strong for if the market decides to pop a little bit later, then, there's just some names that potentially could be decent little wins to take.
And from the open, it's ugly, guys. There's not a single thing even near green. Not a single thing.
No, everything. That's why I'm comparing just that opening candle. So things like Nvidia are moving with the market. The Qs, again, just bleeding right from the open. Pre-market lows at 399.98. It's hilarious. Oh no, sorry. The exact low is 400 to the tick. Something tells me that's not going to hold.
I like see Shockwave. He's like, well, the VXX is green.
Yeah, there you go. Do the VIX.
I like it. I like it. I like it, my friend.
So a 50 VIX, right? If you go back in time, generally speaking, when the VIX is this high, this is where you want to put money to work. But it becomes really hard because you got to just kind of hold your nose, right? This is 2008 when the VIX was up 60, 70 here. In 2015, you can mark all of these. These are generally pretty bottomish events when they occur. It just gets really hard because each time it happens, it's different. So you have to kind of convince yourself to take a look here and just know that at some point we should recover, but who knows when that's going to be and how long you're going to have to hold in the meantime. But I will say the one thing, and I've been joking about this all weekend on Twitter. Look at the Farcoin chart right here, Mitch. Just look at this.
Setting up for the move.
It doesn't care about no bear market, right? That's
setting up for the move, right?
So that's where I'm gonna put all my assets, I think, into Farcoin and walk away. It's smart investment.
Man, it's ugly open there. Looking around for some trades there, guys. Not seeing too much. Not seeing too much here.
Yeah, I think it's one of those we wait for the market. It's bleeding down to new lows, right? So that's obviously not what we want. But what I'm looking for now is, do we undercut? Do we do one of these undercut and rallies that seems so common in the market recently? Where do we come down here and do a flush on everyone who was betting for a bounce today, and then later, maybe in a half hour or so, we actually put in the real low? I don't know.
All right, guys. I'll tell you what. I want to jump into the competition, so I'm gonna take the small account eval instead of using my funded account for the P&L and trying to swing with that. I'm gonna go with one of the eval account, and I'm gonna take one of the small ones. So I'm opening up one of the small ones right now. I'll get that up in just a second here, where I can go ahead and kind of get after it, guys. So why not? Why not take one of these little $5,000 accounts and see what I can do? Maybe trade one of these penny stocks that are ripping, right? So there's money to be made here today. We'll take some shots. I'll get this up in just a second, guys, and then you'll be able to see me take a shot here.
Yeah, a lot of things, including Palantir. From my swing trading list on the weekend. I can look through this quickly, but again, so I'm a systematic swing trader, and I'm trying to become a systematic day trader, which means I just run the systems and take the trades regardless. And some of the systems I have are mean reversion, so they're looking to buy on the way down. So of course they're very active this morning. So I need to go through and take a look here to see which ones are popping through and which ones I like. But I'll probably be buying a fair amount of these today because you kind of have to, right? It's one of those regret minimization. I think is something very interesting to talk about when it comes to trading. Right? Will I be more mad if I don't put money to work and we rally 10%, just even if it's just a bear market pop, or will I be more mad if I put money in and then we drop another 5-6% from this point, right? And I think it's getting to the point where I'll be more mad if I don't get involved and we do have some sort of rally, because again, this is just at some point there's got to be some sort of profit taking coming in from the shorts here, who are now up 14% in 3 days, which is it's a pretty good little return, right? This is where people start taking hedges off the table. These are people where, people who are short start to cover a bit. So even though it might not be obviously the end of the bear market, no one's predicting that. But we're just looking to see, hey, is there going to be a little place that we could get a little bit of a bounce in, and us being short-term traders be there and ready to go to take advantage.
All right, guys, let's see what happens here, guys. Opened up the new account and looking at NWTG for maybe the first trade right now. NWTG. Let's see what happens with this one, guys. I'm going to take a shot here. All right, guys, this took a long there. Only 100 shares to get it started here in the account there. We'll see what happens. There we go. Good move towards 3 here. I'm liking it here. I'm going to add here and look for the big break here on the 3. Now we're going towards the 309s, 310s here. Let's go. Let's go. Got to hold for 30 seconds, right? So let's see if we can really get this to break out here. There we go. Nice little push here towards the 320s. Can we break the 320s? Break the high here. NWTG. Let's go. First trade on here. Looking for the break right back up here. Let's see if we can get it. Can we get the first trade on here?
SPY is now down below pre-market lows there. So
a little pullback on the 3 here. Let's see if we get a reload here. It was looking really nice for the 320 break here. I like the 5-minute chart on this at least. It's looking good. It just needs to kind of rebuild here and then get that nice move above this. Let's see if it can break out above 3 here. Of course, the other smaller ones were in kind of a halt mode. So a lot of times when it's in that halt mode, everyone's looking for what's going to be the next name. I think people are thinking this is it. So I'm taking the shot on it here. There you see it. Now 50s. Now looking good for the breakout. Can it get you that break? Let's see if I get it here. Ready to set the stop and take some money if it doesn't go for it. There we go. Looking good. Looking a lot better now. I can set break even here and look for it to go. Let's see if it just goes for the move now. 320 is looking good here.
Bouncing a little bit on the markets, not too much, right?
All right, trying to take the cash there. Oof. It's not making the breakout. I'm looking for it to break out already here.
Yeah, so we undercut that pre-market low, not by much, not enough, I don't think, to kind of trigger a big stop run. But so far, looking at the first 3 5-minute candles in the market, no topping tails, but lots of bottoming tails. So could be indicative to, right, someone trying to trigger a little buy program every time it dips here. But again, still flirting with that pre-market low. So no reason to get real aggressive here yet, till at least we can do something like reclaim VWAP.
All right, here we go. Nice little jump in price here. Looking to go ahead and take half off here. Took half off there, guys. Sold half. Now going to leave the rest break even. Let's see if we can really get a runner here. NWTG. There we go. 330 break now. Let's see if we can get a little bit more on this break. Go to like the 360s here. Still not holding that breakout. You see, and that's the reason why I sold half of it there, because I felt like it was not holding the breakout. But if it goes for it, I feel like it could be a big move. So that's why I'm saving half of it and leaving the rest break even here. Let's see if we can really get the nice move here in NWTG. And this is a brand new small account here. So let's get after it today. Can I get the account in 3 days? One of the ways you can do that is also letting a position ride right now, like I'm trying to do, right? Because I'm trying to get that bigger move here with the remaining 100 shares. All right, let's look around, and I'm going to keep trying to take different trades out there. TQQQ is still on my radar. Now it's around what the time? It's always about the 945 reversals, things like that I'm looking for. So I can either play 945 or 10. I think I'm going to try the 945 reversal here. I'm still playing this one with the other account. I'm going to go with the main account for that TQQQ reversal.
Yeah, we're seeing a bit of a lift on the SPY, on the Qs. I'm seeing Palantir starting to move. Tesla, which is the other one I was watching, starting to move. So the question is, right, is this just a bit of a bounce before flush? But I do like the fact that we undercut the pre-market low. So it did at least hunt for a bit of liquidity or whatever it is that is under there.
Yeah, definitely. All right, guys, seeing that first action starting to get the move there in the TQQQ. I'd like to see it dip back down below 36 here now, but it's going strong here at the 36.50s. I was thinking there at 36. So see if we get another dip down below that 36 here towards, like, let's say 35.70s, and then I'll be ready for the TQQQ.
Yeah, starting to push up here in Palantir. Again, I'm in
Yeah.
Palantir with a stop below. So that got red for a while, but now I'm back to green on that. And I'm watching Tesla here for the same kind of a move.
All right, TQQ starting to pull back there. I'll look for it to break the 36, go back into the 35s, and then we'll look for it to get strong. I'm looking for that attempted washout look. All right, looking around, guys. Let's go. Let's get after it. Oof, that held pretty well on that pullback there.
Yeah, I'm getting encouraged by the action here on the SPY. We're almost flipped red to green on the candle, not obviously on the day, but just to mean that, right, what was a red daily candle is looking like it's about to turn to a green daily candle, which I know is a strategy that a lot of kind of systematic traders use for entries. Right? They say, okay, if we open up and the candle sells off a bit, when that candle turns green, which just means back to the opening price, that's where I'm going to take the trade. So that's something that I'm watching. Again, I've got Palantir, and I've got watching TSLQ there just to see if we get something.
Yeah, let me know if we get a move back to 36. It'll look interesting for me there. We'll see what happens there on that name. Got to get the other one here. There we go. All right, guys, I did get stopped out break even, but I'm still looking at that NWTG as looking good here. It's still holding the 314. Could go for the next move here above this. So I might take a scalp approach here and use the cash that I have on that name.
SPY tap VWAP, and then it's backing off just a little bit. Like went to VWAP to the tick. So we're looking for, again, a strong move above VWAP here in order to get really interested.
BJDX opened up and then went straight down in the down halt there. JNVR actually opened up and went in an up halt. Now I think it's stuck on an up halt. So down and up on that one, guys. So JNVR now in the second up halt after the first down halt. So a lot of halting action today. Just be careful with the halting action, of course.
Yeah. efficient markets there with all those halts. I hate those. Just let the stocks trade.
Yeah, just let him trade. I agree. Couldn't
I
agree
was
more, man.
thinking about it too on the weekend, man. Why doesn't maybe we should do this, Mitch? Why doesn't somebody make a cryptocurrency that mirrors the S&P 500 so that people can be degens and trade a version of the SPY all
Exactly.
weekend long?
Yeah, that's it.
Right? We'll coin it. We'll take a little bit off the spread each time.
Do it. Do it. We'll call it the I Spy.
That's good.
All right, recovering 3 here on NWTG. Now it could go here, so I might risk off a 3 here and get back in. Yeah, I'm taking the shot there. I'm going to hold it off a 3 here and just look to see if it goes for a quick move here. All right, there we go. Back above the 310s entrance. Now I'm looking for the rip quickly towards the 320s here and just taking off. There we go. 318s, 316 could go for the move here and gets hit a little bit there really quickly. Got to be careful with those down halts right now. So I'm setting the risk right now. If it cuts me out, it cuts me out. But these should be those trades that just go. So trying to set up there for that trade there. NWTG, looking for it to go here now. Did that quick little sweep. That's when I got in. Looking to hold right now. Might get cut out. The spread trying to come get me a little bit here. There you go. It just spread out and got me there. So it's okay. It's fine. It's just one of those trades where it's like it needs to go or no go. So it gave up some of the gains. Still in the green. Still in the green on the smaller count. Looking for another trade. Looking for one of these big stocks or these smaller stocks to make the move. It might have to be the VNVR on the reopen. Look at that thing. That thing's been an absolute crazy, crazy move today. All right, looking around. How's that TQQQ? Ooh, holding in well. No pullback to the 36. I had the alert there for the 36. So the next alert is the break of the 38s. That's where I've been watching for it. Let's see if we can start to get that above there.
Yeah, we've been really strong since that move. We've been doing
Yeah. I'm just looking for one pullback to the 36. I think we could still get that. If I could get that, that'd be the play. For me, also, remember, VIX short. So VXX short could be another play here. The VIX was super extended, so that's another reason why I would love to see it attempt to go back towards, like, let's say 83s or 84s. But right now, it's just been on a quick drop. That's a good sign for the market. Yeah, no bounce just yet on the VXX. It could be coming for another drop right here, and then we could be seeing that next lift here in the SPY. So let's see what happens. I'd like to see a bounce there in the VXX that I could get short into above the 83s. You see it right now, 38. So you can see how it's kind of like mixing in between the TQQQ getting up there and then the VXX. You can see how it's just stair-stepping right here. It could either go for the next move or bounce back. I'm looking for the bounce back above VWAP to get short into, but we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, everything is going well, so I'm kind of sitting on my hands. I have both Tesla and
JNBR
Palantir.
back halted back up, man.
Yeah, these things are crazy. So yeah, I've got Tesla and I've got Palantir, and I'm just going to kind of sit on both. I've got stops at the low of the day. Part of me wants to just cancel the profit targets and just let them rip, but I don't think I'll have the guts to do that.
We'll see when BJDX opens up again. So we got this one that went up hold, down hold, down hold. Will it go back up hold? I'm taking a shot with it here. We'll see what happens here, guys. Taking a little shot here with the BJDX here, guys. We'll see what happens here. There we go. Nice little move off the first action here. I already put break even on some of this. There we go. We're gonna get an uphold now, guys. I went with the pattern and it worked. It worked.
Nice, man.
It worked. I went with the pattern. It was one of those where I was like, I don't know. I don't know if the pattern's really there, but there's only one way to find out. You got to test it. Small account there. You guys see it right there. It went long at the 745 on BJDX, right back into an uphold. So crazy move there, guys. So we'll see when it reopens. But I saw the pattern of multiple stocks doing this with JNVR doing it. And I was like, you know what? This is a very similar stock. The algos are going to come and grab it. Immediately opened and started going straight back up. So it was a tough one there. What I did was as soon as it went up closer above my level, like it first dipped for a slight second, went above my levels, I quickly put a stop loss break even. It could have came back, but no movement back there. VXX still kind of weak here, guys. It did bounce, but it held the 9 EMA. So if anything, just trending up, and so is the SPY. So we could just trend away. And so this is the bull capitulation day. I felt like it could be, especially a weak open, and that's exactly what we got. Straight action down. Will they even give us a chance to get a pullback? Now the FOMO starts. Now it starts, guys. So be careful out there. You're going to start feeling it. I think we need to wait for the wash. I need one wash of the bulls here for me to jump on the play, but I'll be waiting, and then I got to be patient. That's one thing that I can't do. I can't jump up and then watch it come back down here and get washed out and miss the bigger trade.
Yeah, and just like I was, urging people not to chase to the short side, just like you mentioned, Mitch, I'm going to do the same to the long side. Right? Yeah. Yes, at some point we are going to get a monster face ripper rally where the market's going to jump 10% out of the blue. Just don't chase that. Just like you're not chasing on the way down, because we don't know if it's just that, a bounce in a bear market. You get your biggest rallies in bear markets. Yeah. So we don't know if it's that. We don't know if it's the bottom. So this is why, again, you just wait. Right? If you're not in anything yet, if you haven't gotten anything here, again, just if you feel the need just to jump in because the market's moving higher, maybe take a walk, right? Stick to whatever plan you got. But for me personally, I've got these two names. I want to give them both the chance to go. I'm just sitting back with them.
I'm looking for pullbacks on AU, guys. AU gold is one of my plays, right? I talked about gold had done the pullback last week. This week could be a strong week for gold. AU right back up. 33s breaking to 33.46 hourly trend. Now starting to break there. And so now I'd look for a pullback to 33s is what I like. But we'll see what happens. GOLD could be a way to play this on a lag sense, and you can see the strength there too. So it seems like gold making a nice move. And if you see here, I'm locating it in the last 5 minutes. What's hot? It's 3 or 4 sectors: technology, energy, basic materials, and real estate leading the upside action here. So technology and energy leading the quick whipsaw back to the upside.
Yeah, big push here in the market. As soon as we turned that candle green, we started rallying. I'm now watching.
All right. Sorry to interrupt. I know we're getting a lot of questions about the competition. I can understand why it can be a little bit confusing. There is no competition account. These are to be done with eValves or funded account, and the top P&L, like it says on the bottom, from each tier will be getting that prize, right? So there's no actual competition account. You would have to knock these out with the eValve, not the demo, the eValves or the funded. That's why I jumped in on the bonus, right? Which is you open a new account today, an eValve. I'm opening up the small one, right? You can open up the small one, doesn't need a big one. And if you pass it in 3 days, you'll be able to get an extra 25,000 eValve on that funded account. Of course, a nice little added bonus. It's just a bonus here to try to help you guys out like always, but smash a like. Agree, I'm not seeing it either. Well, there you have it, Gordon and Saint. If you guys still don't understand, please let me know in the chat. We'll keep it going here. Let's go, traders.
Yeah, you can open any eval account you want, right? And then just start playing with that.
Ooh, that 39 coming faster than you know it on the TQQQ. At least I felt like it was the time for it. The only question is when to go after it. And today you're seeing it, no pullback. That's a good sign. It's a great sign for the bulls today.
Yeah, I am.
And when did it come in? 9:45, guys. 9:45 on the dot there. Kind of that turning around action. We talk about those times too often.
More encouragement to to get to work on what me and you have been talking about forever, Mitch. These undercut and rallies are so powerful, right? You can see that on the SPY this morning.
I got cut out of that BJDX right as it reopened there, guys. It came and stopped hunting me there. I could get back in it, but it's just dangerous here, guys. At this point, I'm probably going to stay away from it. That's on my fault. As soon as it reopened, I wanted to take some profits up there at the 8th, but I just didn't watch it as it reopened. I pulled up JNVR, but I could see John White knocking that out there. There it goes. We're reopened there, guys. 775 on BJDX. Could make the next move up higher. I got stop hunted on that pullback there, but we'll see if it starts to make the bigger move above 8.
Yeah, so now looking at the SPY, we have gotten to pretty much the pre-market high. I can grab this here. Laptop in it, so just a little bit slower. Boop and boop. Right, so we undercut the pre-market low right here. Right, came back through VWAP and now rallied, not quite to the pre-market high, but you can see there's a lot of resistance here in the morning. A couple topping tails, we bounced off a little bit. So this is, I think, the next big area. So you could even kind of shade this in, I think, and just draw from here to here and say, right, that's our current resistance zone. Through that, there's really nothing in the way to try to kind of get back to green from yesterday, and that would be another kind of FOMO moment, right? This getting back through the open here, this very much felt like a FOMO moment where, okay, the candle was red, it was looking ugly, we were selling the new lows, and now we're green. Yeah, so now it's one of those where we got to flip there to the other side.
All right, guys, I'm back in BJDX. Trying it, man. I'm trying it. It's a tough one, though. It keeps rejecting this $8 move here, guys. It needs to get the jump on the 8s. All right, there's the jumps. There's the jumps, guys. There's the jump. Trying to let it go to the halt. Trying to let it go into the halt here.
This SVV has been interesting. It's now green on the day, broke out. It's kind of sad to see, right? This is Value Village performing really, really strong, right? A really long, low base right here. And now we're breaking out of that base yesterday and today. Obviously not caring about tariffs or anything like that. This seems like, you know, we all know what Value Village is. It's kind of sad that it's doing so well, but it might actually be a winner if the economy continues to get smacked. And of course, they're not ordering anything from abroad. They're just getting things donated and selling those things. So.
All right, guys, BJDX, it's moving in the right direction, but we haven't gone to the next kind of breakout there. So we'll see what happens, guys. TQQ pulled back a little bit, not far enough for me to get in on it, but looking around, guys, trying to make some trades. Only one way to get that top prize for the comp, right? I'm going for it on this trade here. We'll see what happens. BJDX.
Do it, YOLO.
Yeah,
it's good to have. It's funny because, you know, as much as we're definitely going to promote safe trading and all of that, I think there is a little bit of knowledge to be gained by the occasional YOLO. You know, it can acclimate you now, and then all of a sudden, normal trading maybe is a little bit less stressful if you're YOLOing, you know, tons of money on something silly, because it's an eval account, right? You're not going to be out the couple bucks you paid if you blow it up, right? That's all you're out.
Yeah. There it goes, guys, into the hole. Up. Let's see if we get to the hole. 870 showing up there. So now really jumping in equity here. You guys can see it at the bottom. You can see the money starting to stack up there. 183 here, guys. So a really nice gain here. If it can get through the 9, it could go into the hole. Now we're really pushing here, guys. So in a second, I'm going to have to take some off here. But let's see if we can really push above the 9 here. I don't mind taking off a little bit through that 9. There's the 882s. Let's go. Let's go. All right. Taking off a little bit there, guys. I took off a little bit there just to at least pay myself, make the feeling of the pressure go away. Now break even and let it go. Let it go. We talk about these all the time. This could be an all-day type of move or a big expansion. So at this point, I just took 50 off there. I went on 200 shares on this account, and this is a $5,000 account. So it's not like I have a crazy amount to work with, right? So now it's just let it work and see if it can get through that pre-market high, that $10. I could take another 50 off there and just keep working it out, right? So let's see what happens there. Can we get a move to 10? I'll take off 50 there. Already putting out an order there, and I'm just going to let this keep working now. It can go into a halt here in a second. See what happens.
And then, yeah, with those, especially on the evals, when you have great trades like that, the only thing that you're kind of looking out for is to make sure that you don't go past that kind of 50% consistency rule. But other than that, go right ahead, right? If you can make half of the 50% of the eval in one trade, that's wicked.
Yeah. And there it goes, guys. And now I've taken already, I have $100 on this account, and I have a position that's up, over $1. I have 100 shares still, and I can just let this run. This could be a $2-3 move, right? And then, $200-$300 on this trade, monster move. MLGO ripping. Let's go looking elsewhere. Let's see if we can find more. Yeah, MLGO is ripping. It's interesting to see small caps getting these huge rips today. It's almost like the market's looking for some other trade.
Yeah, they're like, man, maybe we should. We got our volatility in the overall market. Let's maybe move over to some of these junkies.
Yeah, let's go mess with the junks that we can handle and manipulate a little bit. That's the truth, right?
It's wild that the junkie stocks are probably now a little bit less volatile than some of these names. We came back up. So remember this shaded area that I drew for the SPY? We now tagged it again. And so that's three candles in a row and another topping tail there. So a lot of topping tails happening in this region on the market. So that's something, again, we got to keep an eye on. We got to see what's happening here. We're continuing to flirt. Call it 496, wherever that is.
Buying just happening on that BJDX pullback there. Quick buying now back towards 970s. Could be breaking 10 in just a second. Remember, this has pre-market high to 1143. So.
Oh, and there's stops up there. If it gets there, you're gonna get a little rip through because there's gonna be a lot of stop losses.
Over $3 gain there. So let's see if we can get into the 10 here. Really wanted to start holding 9s now on pullback, but that's right where the 90 EMA is, right? And so now I'm looking for the expansion above. We did the expansion break here. Let's go for an expansion above towards like 1020s, 1030s. See what happens. It looks like it's doing a little bit of a cup on the 1 minute here. If you see this cup pattern, we could get a pullback to 9 and then the breakout, but wanting it to start holding the 9 EMA and going higher.
Well, and now's where you got to start looking at percentages, right? If everyone looks at Mitch's screen, $800 exposure, $200 gain.
Yeah,
that's on a percentage basis. That's pretty wild. Right? People would love to get that kind of percentage return this year.
You hit 10 for a second there. Came into some selling though. I will say that. One thing is certain as starting to decipher between the bigger share size is very important here. Seeing a lot of share size coming in there in the 970s, 977s. Let's see what happens if we can break 10 now. Start seeing big orders in 10. How's that other stocks there? I'm looking at some other ones there. Now we're starting to see some of these names starting to break down a little bit there. GNVR on a halt down. So that just tells me more and more. Start to be a little bit careful as we still start seeing these kind of what I call euphoria names start to break a little bit.
Yeah, Palantir just turned green, so I'm still in that one. I'm still in Tesla, just kind of letting those things go. But yeah, Palantir is now flipped.
Moving the stop up here, guys, might get triggered. Yeah, I'm out. I just don't want to get in a down halt here and then it comes through my stop, right? And so that's the problem there. So I'll just take the money and run. It's not a bad little gain either. I did get up there towards like 200 with those shares. Maybe should have played the 10, but I'll take that, guys. It's still $200 gain here on the account. Let's keep playing. That's my gain there. Is that if I get caught on the wash there, I could easily get, you know, right back out of this and then no gain on that. I'm looking to keep building up a cushion and taking bigger trades. Remember, competitions, especially, it's about building cushion.
Palantir turned green. Tesla is now green as well. So,
that was a big breakout on the TQQQs, guys. Massive bind coming in there, guys. Massive. I saw 4,500 shares there multiple times there. Big orders flying through on the TQQQ. The bull capitulation day is here, and boy, oh boy, the bounce is there, guys. The VIX down action. Look at that, guys. This is why I wanted to also bet down VIX today. Bet TQQ to the upside. The names that were really capitulated are getting the bounce faster than ever. Technology is leading the up action. Why is it leading the up action? It's the most hit down spot, right? That's what I wanted to talk about a lot about today. I hope somebody's capitalizing on that. It sounds like Michael is, at least. I've been, trading some of these small ones, maybe been distracted on these. But yeah, VXX down, and it could be that type of day, just really seeing the market bounce back, right? I mean, hey, there you have it. Nice little bounce back.
Yeah, I got triggered in about 10 names off the open from the swing trading side of things. Again, I am fully systematic there on the swing trading side of things. A robot does everything for me. So I got triggered in a bunch of names there. So obviously nervous, but very happy that worked out. And then, yes, I have my Palantir. I have my TSLL, and I am just sitting. I've got 50 shares of Palantir, and I've got 200 shares of TSLL, and I'm just trying to. It's sometimes the hardest part. I'm trying to do absolutely nothing, and just while this rip's happening, because things are working out very nicely right now for sure. I'm glad I popped on.
Yeah, man. And this is one of those days where I get a little frustrated because all three of the plays in the playbook, long TQQQ, short VXX, and long AU, all working here. And not being able to capitalize it will frustrate me a little bit here. But hey, at least it's doing the right things here. AU, nice back move there towards 34.44s, holding well in gold. You can look at JNUG also, maybe trying to play a little bit of that bull momentum. Look at the drive there, 46 to 52. Good move in gold. And silver also. Silver actually leading the upside action today, guys. So that's something to catch. Some significant move in SVM. Look at this, 319 to 350s, guys. So it's a cheap name also. Could be looking for scalps there. I still haven't yet to see a nice pullback for me to jump on, but I'm looking at that as silver doing really well.
Yeah, I even looked SLV. Yeah, silver is bouncing really nicely today.
The TQQ and the volume that's coming into TQQ it's a lot right now, guys.
Yeah, the SPY is well green for the day. Right, the Qs are green, kind of everything across the board's flipping green here. We got the IWC, our micro caps are up $2 or 2.5%. We got the Qs up 2.5%. We have IWM up 3%. Yeah, just a lot green today. Now again, just to kind of calm everybody, ARK up 4%. Bitcoin miners up 6%. Crazy. Now, everyone calm down, right? Just like we mentioned, right? Both me and Mitch said, as we're coming into the morning, probably not the time to chase things short. Just like now, it's probably not the time to chase things long, right? If you got nothing, if you didn't buy anything today, just take a breath, right? Look for your shot, maybe some small caps that haven't moved, things like that. But when it comes to the overall market, it's a good day to take a breath. The question is this a real bounce, or is this just a bunch of shorts that have come in and they made a lot of money recently, and now they're starting to really pound the pavement?
That's exactly what I think it is, man. Just unwinding of some bigger shorts, right? The guys at the top that said, yes, we are going to a bear market. We hit bear market. Now they cash. That's normal, right?
Yep.
And so it's normal to see these bounces. There's always wicked bounces. Dead cat bounce is all about that wicked action to the upside. If it was a slow stair step move higher, I would feel better about it than a quick move higher. Quick moves can easily be that dead cat bounce. I think the only thing that's going to be telling is that, yeah, guys, we're due for some kind of bounce, just like we did in the action on the SPY, right? When we did that first bounce, right? What happened, right? If you look at the daily chart, we had a couple of down days, then a bounce, right? Down days, and this one even further and faster. Now we're getting that bounce back. And look where we're at, right? We went all the way down to 486. You're back to 520. That's a big move. That's 20 points on the SPY from the morning action low, right? And so with that being said, yes, we're getting that dead cat bounce, bull capitulation, and also bears taking profits. Combinations causes quick action to the upside. I'm just a little upset, I'll be as honest as I can be, because I came in with that mentality, just didn't execute it on it. But hey, I was playing other smaller names. I did well on those trades. So you got to sometimes understand that you can't wear too many hats. And that's where Michael always tells you, yeah, those systems can't wear too many hats, though. But yeah,
there you go.
That's just how it is, man. That's just the name of the game. And so I'm making the calls on everything. It's very hard to trade this trade, that trade, and this trade over here, right? So, hey, just got to shake it and keep trading, guys. Palantir is one name that you can ride the momentum. The only thing is, one thing that I would say is, and just to throw a caveat, if I want to play up moves, I do want to play them. Know what I'm in. Is it quality or not? Quality, I can stick around a little bit longer. If it's not a quality name, I want to get out fast, right? So for me, Palantir would fall more in the not so quality name, but we'll find out, guys.
Yeah, and again with Palantir and Tesla, these are day trades. Oh, I may actually have Palantir for a swing. I need to go look at my swing account. I know I don't know if you ever traded with Interactive Brokers before, Mitch, but they have a little British guy that tells you. Yeah, I was distracted off the open because that British guy, he was like doing a remix, right? He's just order filled over and over and over again. So again, just like I wouldn't be, I'm very lucky that I was buying things to the downside, but I wouldn't be buying them now. We're talking what, a 5-6% move from the lows already today. To me, and the reason I think it's a short covering rally, and this is something that I think is an important exercise for traders, is always think from the other side. Say you were somebody who shorted into Liberation Day, and 3 days later you're up 15% on just the SPY. Many stocks you were up 20, 30, 50% on in just a number of days. You're going to take that money, right? And that could be what's happening here. It's just a lot of people were short and they were kind of lowering their stop down as it came. We had some sort of pop, and then we've pushed, right? I'm hearing that from the street that there's some rumors that there might be a tariff pause, and that might be causing some of this. But again, it's one of those I'm not too.
And like I mentioned, it's just where you got to keep your head on a swivel, especially right now. Everything is riding on I ask myself, what is the market looking for? The market is looking for no negative news. That's what it's looking for. So anything in the realms of being positive will be viewed as extremely positive. And I look at these all the time. So essentially you're looking for those actions on the tape. And there was a guy, Tommy Lackey. I'll give him a shout out. We coined it for him. He called it tape bombs. Right now, that's what you're getting. On a lot of action, it's news headlines that become tape bombs. Essentially, it could be moving the market any way, up or down, and fast. that's when, honestly, I will tell you guys, swing trading is actually, for me, harder in those moments than day trading. So you got to be careful with the action right now. Like, let's say if you were long on Friday because you thought that the end was on Friday. Well, you came in this morning, probably good your face ripped off, right? And so that's the hard part of swing trading. I like swing trading in more certainty environments, unless I'm shorting, of course. Then I can understand while I'm playing things. Finally getting the dip, guys. We're getting a dip. BJDX, I'm not even touching anymore right now. I think it could actually kind of disappear here, but I'm looking at TQQQ on this pullback. We're getting that dip. I need the dip to come down below the VWAP if I want to play this. So I need it below VWAP. That's a 39.50s and below if I want to jump in on the party.
Yeah, we are pulling back a little bit. We got pretty near yesterday's or Friday's high before we took a break there. So definitely makes sense that it's time to chill out a little bit. But what a mover to get close to yesterday's high before we've chilled out. So yeah. So again, I'm just sitting. I'm trying very hard not to sell Tesla. I'm trying very hard not to sell Palantir. Took tiny amounts of profits there on the way up, trying to hold the bulk to see if this is kind of an all-day rip. If we reverse here and go back to lows, then egg on my face. But I took a little bit of money off the table, not a lot. Took a little bit of cash off the table. Now I'm looking to see if we hold.
We're getting those pullbacks here, guys. I'm going to look for a slight undercut of 11 on Mara. If I can get that, I can play this on the upside. Even though I'm very bearish, these miners, I still think that they can make quick up moves too. And that did go to $12.25 from $10 on Mara today. So when you think about it, that's a 23% move. That's a big move to make money on. So we'll see what happens. See if I can maybe make some cash on that.
Yeah, pulling back a little bit, but so now is, I think, one of those times where it's good to do. I just grab something from our buddy Steve, right? Mark the high of the day, mark the low of the day, look for that kind of 50% Fibonacci potential pullback. Maybe that's the place to load up.
Yeah, I like the 50%. I think those are really great tools to use.
502 on the SPY. That's the 50% from low to high here on the S&P 500. So could be interesting as we pull in here. I cannot stress how insane these moves are for just trading though, right? 3% off today's high, right? 3% off today's high. I'll say it again. And now back to red on the day. So this is crazy action. That's why you've seen kind of both me and Mitch say things like, all right, now I'm going to walk away, right? Because you're not, you have to trade very, very small in these markets. You got to.
Yeah. And also taking profits while you have them, right? If not, this market will take them back for you. When you're in high volatility, the number one thing that you also understand is that if you have green on the screen, it might not stay that way. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because just the volatility itself. So there's epic times to be kind of in a hold mentality. And this is a time that also paying yourself along the way on big moves can be a good profitable outlook. In and out of trades are a lot of how traders are making good money right now. Mara on the pullback, but not on the SPY, not on the pullback on the VWAP right just yet. So I'm looking for one more pullback there. TQQQ's almost to an area where I can go for it. I'm just looking for one more little dip here, and I'm going to start getting in on the TQQ on the main account. All right, let's go. Let's go. Come on. Get back into the 39s here. Looking for dips below 40s here to start a starter. It's a nice pullback. We're getting an opportunity. The only question is this just a dead cat bounce, right? That's the hard part. You got to be asking yourself, you got to take a shot, you got to know your risk.
Yeah. It's one of those, right? That nothing wrong with the market saying, okay, that pop was a little too extreme to the upside. Maybe the sell-off this morning was a little too extreme to the downside. And then we just wait. Or, right, we could see high volatility insane movements here in the market, which is kind of my bet.
Look at BJDX. Look at that thing. That thing went down to 8 and then ripped to 966. Remember when I took the cash, I was worried about it coming back. It would have stopped me out, guys. So I'm not mad about the way that it's going. It's very volatile. So look to see what happens with JNVR. We're seeing these moves. I'm looking also at NWTG. It's going back to 3. It could make another move here. I know that the gurus and furus on days like today, they're loving the action. They're using money. They're trying to make money. We'll see what happens out there. One more pullback on the TQQQ. It could start coming back here. I'm looking at the TQQQ on the 1 minute. We did undercut the 9, so that gives me a little bit more excitement here. I just want to see a move to the VWAP. I need it to get below VWAP, really, for me to get really big. And I think about this as like institutions, they might be able to get in a little bit slightly adjusted here. But I think this is more retail that's buying it right here. They want it below the VWAP more than likely. I wanted to just to dip it for a second there.
Wow. Just dipped to 501 on the SPY and then ripped to 505. Like these are moves, gentlemen, that generally take days to happen on the overall market.
And so you got to be careful with sizing right now. Smaller size might help you. Another thing that might help you, ladder approaches. What I mean by ladder approaches, putting in your order in different levels, right? And looking to get pullback fills, that kind of mentality. Yeah,
because we're back to VWAP again. We pulled back to it.
Still being patient.
3%. So you're talking maybe instead of percentage, a better way to look at it is trillions of dollars have been added and then removed from the global economy in the last 10 minutes. So this is this is insane action. This is why even sitting here after an operation, I'm hanging out with you guys because I couldn't miss today. You just couldn't. Market's just too wild right now. So yeah, we're pulling back. We're holding VWAP. We're just kind of chopping around VWAP right now. So I'm just looking to see kind of what the next move is. And the next move might be nothing. It might be one of those. The bulls got stopped out in the morning. Then the bears got stopped out in the or a little bit later. And now everybody's kind of mad. And we just chop around here for the day. We did ding both sides, right? We sold off right into the open, undercut the pre-market low, and then rallied pretty hard right after that.
Looking to see if MLGO wants some more here. It did bounce off of 20. It's really well there on the recovery. So smaller name, looking to see if it's going to recover 20 here and make a move. It's a little wall on it. Here comes the TQQQ. Come on, TQQQ.
Hey, close.
I got you. I'll just mute you for a second there, Mike. Whenever you're ready again, just unmute yourself.
Oh, sorry. I thought I had muted there.
No, you're good, my friend. You're good. All right, here we go back into the 39s here, guys. I'm getting kind of excited here now as we start to get in back here into the 39s. This is what I wanted to see, the slight dip below the VWAP, right? So now I want to see that whoosh effect come to the bottom end Bollinger Band 39 there. So somewhere near the 39s is really where I can get in and start to size in and have a good bet to place. I can do a starter here, but it need to be small just in case it comes off of this 40.
Yeah, it's funny. This level lines up, so it's VWAP, and it's also the pre-market high. So we're pulling back to test the pre-market high here on the S&P 500. So this seems like a good area to bounce if we are going to bounce back up, right?
Yeah. So what I did was I took literally the smallest size that I think I could take there, 25 shares. It was just a starter to see what happens here and kind of react. If it comes down to the 39s, I can size in and really look for the move here. But got to be careful. Got to be careful because it's going to be wicked.
Yeah, I feel like this is a big moment here in the market, right? We're back to VWAP.
Oh,
We're back
this
to
is as
the
big as it
pre-market
gets.
high.
Also, another trade that looks interesting to me, 80 VXX approaching with the morning high around the 84. So it's about a $4 risk there towards the high, but it's an interesting trade, right? There's 39.40s holding well there. Now we're going back towards the 40s here. So that's actually good look. This is what I meant by small wicks below the VWAP. So this is an area where big orders could start to pick up here. I'm looking for bigger orders. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to filter my time in sales for something bigger than 2,000. So only showing me orders that are bigger than 2,000. I want to see some big boy orders here. And you're seeing them there around the 40, 38s, 40, 30s now. So starting to climb back a little bit here.
Yeah, the market is defending that price, doing so pretty well.
Yeah. Here comes that dip below. I'm going to look for that dip below. Maybe they're coming towards 39.80s here and then really recover 40s. It might not come back to 39s completely. So I got to be willing to step up. All right, I'm stepping up a little bit here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to be break even on the rest here. So I'll show you guys how this looks here, essentially, and it's very important for me to be break even on this. And so essentially here you guys have it right from the charting of the platform. So there's the first breakout there to 41, right? It's still a good looking trade here, but I only got 50 shares, so I need to add. And what I'm going to look for is for me not to get stopped out on the first down move here. And if I don't, I can add back through that 41. So looking for a little bit of a pullback. If it doesn't get me back through that 41, I can keep adding and just slowly add to it. Keep moving up the break even and riding the trend. There's that 41 break again. Now here comes that pullback. Let's see if it holds it and doesn't come from my 40.33 and then starts to hold 41s. 17 seconds left on this candle. I want to see it close above 41s. That's a good sign. All right, guys, what's going on out there, guys? Nice day on the funded account, bad on the challenge. Hey, that's okay. We'll take that any day, right? Funded over the challenge any day, man.
Yeah, the real money over the play money. Take it.
Yeah, man. Never be mad about that, guys. I'll tell you that much.
And I see another question, just in case people are joining in late. You can take the challenge with any funded account that you want, right? So you can pop in there and go with any of that. And then again, you can see the rules were mailed out to you. But yeah, there's not a specific account for it. You can just open an account and get to work. And man, what good timing for this challenge.
There's the ad, guys. There we go. Now to 41.20s. Now starting to get the lift. Now we're starting to get back there. I'm starting to get back to where I can get into the green on the day. So let's see if this can really push now. It could get back to the highs. Now I'm looking for it not to come back down here. Got to be careful for the pullback. I'm okay if I get stopped out, break even on this pullback, and then I'll look to get back in. It could go back down to 40s or 39s and then make the move. And so with that being said, we got to be careful for little bounces here that we get too excited and we keep buying the highs, right? Let's see if it can hold my entry here, guys. I still break even on the remainder. I got 75 shares now and worked my way up to 40.69.
Yeah, that pullback and low and the VWAP is very important because that's not only VWAP, it's pre-market high, right? There's a lot of big levels in this area. So the best bull case is a dig in right here.
Break down there for me, at least I'm out break even and now looking to get back in with the same size.
Yeah, if we lose that pullback low, a little bit worried, right? If we start to trade near today's low, that could be something. That could be something that we definitely don't want to see.
Yeah.
The market, as I click through the market, everything is so insanely correlated right now, right? Every stock's kind of moving exactly with the market. So I think you're right, Mitch, to kind of just trade the market itself is a way that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, right now 39 is the risk for a lot of traders, I feel like. So I'm looking for that scoop down to 39 and recovery here. So a lot of traders that got excited with me, they probably bought the trade. Some traders are going to hold on to the trade there. I think that for right now, for me, would have been a bad call, right? Because now I would have been deep in the red and I'm trying to be like, no, but come back TQQQ. Right now, I can't be in that mode. It's break even on a lot of trades and looking for them to run. If they work, it'll run in the direction that I'm taking the trade. If not, then it's definitely going to hurt me, right? Hey, can you please share as to what your settings are on the trading console? On which one? Because it just depends on which one you're doing, right? If you're using our trading evaluation platform, that was the chart that you saw where you could see the stop loss and things like that. Or are you talking about what you're seeing on the screen here, which is my TC2000, which is another program, right? You always got to have tools, and I have tools there. Here comes the 39, guys. So I'm going to go right back in it here through the 39s here. Let's see if I can get the whoosh. I hit it just for a second there. I'm looking for the cut down below the 39s here. Come on, come on. It's not giving me that entry. It hit literally 38.93s for like a second. So to me, there was some trades on that 39 that did get stopped out. Seeing that hold here at the 39.50s. All right, starter on there, just 25 shares at a time for me. It's literally a share size that I can handle right now. You need to find what share size you can handle. MLGO, interesting for me, but I'm focusing on this. Still looking at some of those smaller names. BJDX at 990s, almost back to 10. JNVR dropping fast. There we go. Still getting the dip here. Still getting the dip. And one thing that I can see is the 15-minute 9 EMA. I love to play off of that all the time, guys. So I like the risk to return here, and that's why I'm taking shots. Here comes below the 39s. That's what I want to see. Now give me a little bit of a whoosh effect here. What I mean by whoosh is a nice little quick liquidity move through here. A little wick. Not much selling pressure here at the 990s, at the 38.90s. Here we go for the wish. Come on, come on.
So I just popped on our boy Walter Bloomberg, and he's saying, yeah, CNBC reached out to the White House, and nobody is aware of pauses on tariffs, just like the comment in the chat there. So
added a little bit there, guys.
That news that caused that spike looks like it might be fake. So just be careful, because that could be some disappointment there.
Yeah, no, and you got to be careful in this whole environment, right? It's like, essentially, it's catching the falling knife. If you like playing with knives, this might be the market for you. Here comes that dip, guys. Now we're getting that dip, and it's fast here, guys, so you got to be careful. All right, I just took another 25 shares there. I'm just slowly sizing into here, trying to get to 100 shares, but at the right spot. All right, now I start looking at the 15-minute chart. I'm focusing on that. Looking at trend line approaches here. So I'll draw this as the green line because I want to see it bounce off of that green line here. So you can see that green line comes into play right around the 38.50s. So even if it breaks 38, I know I can get out, right? And I'm looking at it to risk off of pretty much an entry that's off of the 39s, right? So it's about $100 risk here. Looking to see what happens if it can start to work back. But towards the top, it's a nice $500 gain. So risk to return, guys, getting after here. MLGO rejecting there. That one could start being a fade now. A little part of me feels like fading this MLGO now. The key difference on why I haven't gone to it is the spread's a little wide for me. BJDX still trying to break that 10. And WTG starting to run into a little bit of some altitude stop there, but it did go down to 250s. We'll look to see if it gets to 3. There's TQQQ. A little bounce there. It's not a big one, but it's trying.
Yeah, everyone's trying to come on the streets, and everyone's trying to figure out where the rumor started.
How are the streets out there, guys?
The streets are in panic because everyone was rallying there because there was, I guess, a rumor of the some sort of pause on the tariffs. And now CNBC got a hold of the White House and they said, we don't know what the hell you guys are talking about. So that's what causing the spike back down. So, news got everyone excited. The news didn't get everyone excited. And
I'm telling you, man, it's a tough market, a tough environment. And another thing is, remember, the trade can always do what it likes to do, which is hurt the max participants. The max participant could honestly just be on both sides of the trade right now. So you got that big stop out move as the shorts go running out, right? And now you catch the longs. So always got to be careful, guys. Always got to be careful.
So 2 minutes ago, a Twitter account linked with the White House tweeted, wrong, period, fake news to the tariffs being paused. So that might be the end of this rally. It'll be interesting to see. I think the market now kind of moves normally. So I wouldn't expect a push back to highs or anything like that. But, trades are trades. So it's one of those things for, take your shot, but just know that initial pop that happened early in the day, that was on some algos that probably read a tweet somewhere and got a little bit too excited. So now we're going to trade normally, I guess is a way to put it. Normal in this market's pretty wild though.
Yeah, there you go. A little bounce off the 39s, guys. I took my shot on the TQQQ. I like this move. Now we're back above the 39.50s. So now I'm looking for a slight move back towards 39s. Even low 39s will get me to add here. Let's say 39.16s, 39, somewhere in that spot. And I'm looking for the run back to 40s. And once it gets to 40s, I can feel a lot more confident that we're retracing VWAP and starting to make the move. VWAP 39.55. Here, at least what I have on the 5. I can look at the 15 and see that this candle opened at 39.82. We still got 2 minutes left here. It could go green candle. That's what I want to see as conviction that my timing is right. Got a nice little pullback there to the 39.30s, but not trying to add there. If I add too high, I'm going to ruin my average here. Even if I only got to go 75 shares, I'll hold the 75 shares. Still $40 right now. 75 shares, man. All right, here you guys see the funded account on the right-hand side for me, and then the other account is on the left-hand side. No positions on right now. There we go. Now $58.60 on 75 shares. Let's go.
Nice trading.
Now break even on this because the key is it's a trend reversal, right? It shouldn't come back to me. If it does come back to me, I want out, and I want to keep playing this until I get the trend right.
Yeah, and it's I like that you point out the share size there, right? Because it's like what we talked about. You don't need in this market. You don't need big share size, right? You could hundreds of dollars can be made on less than 100 shares because things are just crazy. We're just waiting for the next tweet that says the fake news of the fake news is wrong. It's actually the real news of the fake news.
$6 with 75 shares isn't going to be bad, guys. And to be honest, like what I think is always important is what is your average size in TQQQ. Average size for me in the TQQQ can be from 300 to 500 shares. So that's a big difference. 5 times the amount, right? You guys have it now back to 40.50s here. So there's 2 things I can do. I can either take some money and run right here, or I can let the trade work. In this case, this style of trade, I want to let the trade work. Could be wrong on that base, but my biggest thing is that if it's going to go right here, it ain't going to give you the chance to come back in it here now. It wants to FOMO out and just keep rocking and rolling for like a good portion of the day. So that's what I'm going to be looking for here. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, while you're in, let's start some Twitter nonsense. Right, let's start tweeting about 180-day tariff pause. How about that? Right. See if we can.
Man, Tesla, I'm trying to get my lunch first though. You might need to get to 200. Michael needs to
Yeah.
get me some good lunch. All right, there's 4070s now on the TQQQ, so that makes me feel better, right? And remember what I said, being patient at the 39s there is the only reason I got in. Because trust me, as it was pulling back, I wanted to get in at 42, at 41. I did get in at 40, but I played it very smart, I feel like there, where I was able to just kind of like take the smallest amount just to get myself in, to get that feeling out of my head. And now I'm just working the position.
Yeah, Palantir has still been. I still have the Palantir, still have the Tesla. Again, took little bits on the way up. Obviously, wish I took way more, but yeah, Palantir holding strong, Tesla pulling back. So yeah, Palantir seems to be one of those is winning today, regardless of what we're seeing, even with the pullbacks of the market. Pulled back from highs, but just not nearly as much as we saw with the overall market. So just shows relative strength. Right? Relative strength is a good one to look at.
Might get an attempt here to 39.50s here, guys. So just be careful. We're going to get a quick boost down attempt here. So got to be careful if you ever stop out there. There it is. Literally comes right to it. This is a inverse head and shoulders pattern look off of the one. And you can see that right around the VWAP. We recovered VWAP, and now you're going to come for a look here. Only question is, where do you want to risk? How much do you want to risk here if you're taking the shot?
Yeah, we're pulling in a bit again. I wouldn't be surprised to see just choppy action for the rest of the day around this red or green. That's what we're seeing. Is a bit of red, bit of green, bit of red, bit of green. Just both sides got slapped. Both the the Bears earlier on, the Bulls a little bit later. Right, everyone got kind of hit, so everyone might be a little punch drunk right now. While we wait for the.
I think the best bet for me, at least feeling, is the bet that I'm on right now, and that's interesting for me as being very bearish overall in the intermediate and long. That's why I'm taking the shot. I just feel like today can be that day where you do get to bounce back, and then people say, "Well, things are not as bad as they seem." Then tomorrow I'll be a little bit concerned, but. Another thing to look at is just watching that Trump feed, right? I mean, everyone's watching it, man. Everyone's looking to see what's going to be the next comment and if he's going to get weak on this trade talk or not.
Yeah, that's everyone's just looking for something. Something. Just give us something. Give us some idea that there could be a potential plan, right?
Yeah.
Just, hey, okay, these guys said the right thing, and I'm going to lower the tariff on them, right? So.
All right, BJDX now starting to break down a little bit. Has had to up one, down one, up two, down three, up three. So pretty much in a rule of three pattern. Could get back above 9 and break out towards 10. I'm watching to see if it breaks down through 8. It could be a collapse through 8. So just mentioning trades out there that could potentially come into play.
$200 million liquidated from the crypto market in the last 20 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. That's good capitulation, I see.
Yeah. It would suck to be one of those guys, but yeah, that's just an insane day.
All right, guys, looking to see if we're going to get this up move in some of these smaller plays. If not, the bets are starting to come on for the short side of things. I'm looking at that. I want to keep playing some of these smaller names, of course, in the competition account. I have $200 cushion, so I'm watching NWTG. I'm watching a lot of these, but I'm not taking the trade right here. I want the trade to show me versus me try to guess the position right now. So I'm not going to guess the way it's going to go. They're all three in the bullish zone here. Just need to kind of work. Look at the TQQQ now, 41.30s. It's hard for me not to run for some cash here. So I'm going to probably take a little bit just to respect myself. All right, there you guys have it there. And this was all about just covering and getting myself on the green for the day. I had lost $41 earlier. I just took 61 with 30 shares, guys. So $2 profit on those shares. And now I can leave the rest break even and not feel bad. Because why? Because worst comes to worst, I still have a green day. It's just a small one. Best thing happens, the market drives today and breaks that high on the TQQQ, and I am big in the green. So, hey, now just let it work. I said a trade in the stop in the green, and now just let this continue to work, guys. Here you guys see it on the screen. I like to show you guys it also straight from the platform. And you guys see me using some bar charts. Check those out if you guys ever want to do it. And you can see here how I let go right when it started to break down. Got back in on the dip here through the level that I had, which was that yellow line right there. Boom, getting in. Now selling some as we get back to the resistance, right? And then looking to see if we can break out for real and go to like the 46.50s. If it goes back there, these small shares, and they'll be working. Even right here, with what I got left, 45 shares, I'm making $100 with 45 shares, team.
Damn.
You don't need much to make money in this environment. All right, guys. I do see someone in the back that probably wants to jump in here, wants to bring in and get out of the bear cave. What's up? What's up, my man? Tim?
Oh, I was looking for my nature hat that I wore.
Oh, I thought you were gonna bring a bear.
I grabbed my taco hat. It was the wrong hat. No. Anyway, it's all right.
Bear hat.
Good. What
Where's the bear hat?
This is crazy. What's it?
Oh, this is fun.
Let's see.
This is fun. This is trading at its best, man. This is movement all around out there, guys.
Yeah. And this is good. This is one of those times for experienced traders. This is great. People who know to take your size, whatever you normally do, cut it in a third, and just try to play the volatility. This has been a fun day.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I was brokenhearted because I had something. I haven't even touched my trade the pool account this morning at this time, but I had something I was swinging from overnight, and I was a little brokenhearted. I heard that that pump is fake news. The 90 days, right? Is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, that's what the White House come back. CNBC got a hold of them, and
either that or someone, someone hacked another Signals chat room. Someone hacked another Signals chat room.
Navarro, I think. Or was it Navarro or Best? I forget who somebody was mentioning, but they asked him. Maybe you got this part because I've been running around. But apparently they asked him a question. He said to acknowledge, and then they said is it true about a 90-day? He said what? Yeah, and then he said no. So apparently that was what I heard happen. I haven't seen it, but I'm gonna have to go and watch that because that was what a move. And what a promotion here too. We have this make lemonade out of lemons challenge, huh? So we've got some.
People in the chat have been pumped about it.
About that.
I've been getting after it. I got a little small account, that $5,000 account. So I went off those traders in that tier. I grabbed an account for the bonus. Trying to pass this in 3 days. I got to keep trading.
Nice.
I got to keep trading. Look at the TQQQ, guys. That's rising. That's rising here. I might have gotten it.
So what I was saying though, my thought is it didn't once. And granted, what's the thing about the the lie gets around the world while the truth's still putting on its shoes or whatever, right? It's usually more about like gossip, but like, so you could imagine maybe it's like still up a little bit, but what I noticed is the bottom didn't fall out of it. Everyone was like, oh, okay. And the thing is, I was seeing a lot of people saying, oh, now I'm jumping in on the shorts, right? And even so, it didn't plummet. So that told me, hey, wait a second. And this just showed how much bull energy is just pent up waiting to buy. And so I almost actually I was like a little disheartened at first because I was like, oh, wow, the like kind of the steam out. But I'm like, wait a second, this is kind of still, this might be still going, right? Like, it's pretty crazy. Yeah. So yeah, that's so
interesting for sure.
Just to recap for that, so it's 3 days, right? It's today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. Winners announced, or the winning account announced Thursday, right? Because it's the top P&L account, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And so that's important, folks. It's not like spread across 2 accounts. I had to double check that myself. And then yeah, there's 10 winners, and so yeah, the prize is the 5K eval. And if you buy an eval and pass, if you pass in that time period, okay.
yeah, that's what I'm going for.
That's a high. You'd have to thread the needle carefully though, because for sure this is one of those where you oversize a little bit, you can blow up too. But like you said, you don't need much. So
no, you don't, and I think that's the important part. You don't need much. I'm getting after it, man. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's interesting. So I've been watching gold, of course, and oil, the big one. There's been, movement on that too. There's some question on Iran. Is there going to be some conflict coming there? Russia was coming in with some comments. And, it's interesting to see though how much oil is moving just exactly with equity. Like, it's crazy how closely oil is moving with equity indices. Actually, like,
guys, I'm $99 away from it already, hitting the target. So I'm more than halfway done with it. It's 300 the target on this little small.
Wow. Come on, let's do it. We got 3 minutes left in the stream.
It's BJDX is a long side that I'm looking at.
Multiple positions there, because we got that one rule.
Yeah, dude. Okay. I got here two stocks that I've traded, but I've traded multiple trades within that. I have like let's see what the dashboard is telling me, right? The dashboard is right there for us, right? Well, here it is, guys. I got 4 out of the 10 minimum trades, so I still need a couple more trades there, right? But I'm pretty close to the profit take here. So just looking to keep it going, guys. Looking to keep it going. Let's go.
Yeah, 2 minutes left in the stream, Mitch. Come on, we YOLO.
Yeah, I mean, it's right here. It's BJDX is along. It's BJDX is along. I'm just waiting for it. I'm trying to be patient to see it, right? But I think it's this one to the long side here. Reason why JNVR just went back to the uphold. So this one could go here and break out, and then this one could follow it. I'm trying to play leader laggard style trade here.
Man, the thing I did want to play was Roblox again. I thought this would be finally the moment to do it. I ended up being basically an all-nighter type thing, catching up on some things. So
that Roblox, man. That Roblox, I don't know about it, man. I don't know about it. Put it this way, my kids aren't going on it.
Yeah.
Just the stock. The stock is a better game than anything anyway, right? Hey, it's got capitalism there. Apparently, you can make things and sell them. Creative juices flowing. Apparently, you can buy things.
NFTs,
and
bro.
Too, I think.
NFTs.
Did you see what is it? GTA 6. You're going to be able to buy with Bitcoin, Solana, and Ripple, like in-game stuff.
Yeah, man. Why not?
Real life crypto to buy in-game assets.
Yeah,
it's non-fungible tokens, man.
Yeah, that's crazy though. Like,
NFTs are coming back at some point, man. At some point, they're gonna come back, guys. A little part of me.
Oh, they have utility. Let's see, what is it? Lofty does something interesting with them, where you're buying the tokenized real estate, right? There's a few other interesting cases, but
Yeah.
in a
Big
couple of cases.
spot here in the market, guys. We've been going sideways off of this breakout spot here on the Qs and the SPY. I'm looking at it also, looking to see if we're going to do the trend line breakout. That would be a move on the SPY through 510 here. If not, it could pull back to 500, at least from what I'm seeing. So I'm like a little bit back and forth about taking the money here and running. BJDX just did a breakdown attempt here, so I'm going to look to see if it scoops back towards 9, right? I could short it here too. It could be a breakdown below 8s, but it's just a dangerous move on first day shorts for big runners. That's just the known thing for me to be a little bit careful about.
Were you looking at oil already? I'm just
Yeah, it's been a
fascinated by
big
how
move,
close
big move up.
Yeah, but it's mirroring equities so closely. I mean, I guess this is a currency move. I guess it's more interesting. It's a currency move that gold is not following. But I heard people were paying off their margin calls with gold. Was the rumor I heard.
With gold,
The last rumor was,
AU is not looking bad on this pullback, guys. I kind of like it there. I kind of like gold today. Even if the market comes up, I think gold could make the move with the market. I know it's weird, but hey.
But yeah, I think that's what happened with Bitcoin on the weekend too. Is everyone just going to any asset that hasn't gotten killed, and they're just trying to. I'll be very interested to see, because we'll see. It'll take about a quarter, but I think we're seeing a lot of funds that just blew right the hell up, and that's what caused this really, the dramaticness of the down move. Because there's no reason for gold to be selling off, and that happens when. You got a fund, your fund gets liquidated, you got to sell. You got to sell everything.
What?
So
all odd shops blew up like the Titanic submersible.
yeah, no, I think there's going to be a lot of long only funds that got a little too excited, a little too leveraged. And when Trump was initially elected, you had that insane surge in the market. Everyone got super, super happy. And yeah, you're going to find a couple funds got a little bit, happens every time, right? Some bunch of hedge funds get over their skis. They invest.
Yeah, they're
levered,
and they're breaking. They're at that breaking point. Yeah.
So I think you're going to start hearing stories.
Sure, there's plenty of investors like that, and I think even investors that believed in Trump, like let's say voters that voted for Trump, when do they start to break? That's going to be a telling sign. I started seeing some of that. I was talking to some guys that I know that voted for Trump, and even their enthusiasm for him is starting to die down. That's a good sign for me that there's bull capitulation happening. But here it is, guys. Nice move there. Now TQQ just broke through that 42.50 spot, went to 43 for a slight second. I think this is a big watch now to see if we make the next move up, right? So now I start to look to see it hold 42. So you see how we're slowly trending on this light blue line? This light blue line is my momentum line to look for, right? This is the 9 EMA. It's a short term. When we recovered the VWAP here, good sign. Now we broke away sideways above VWAP, held the momentum line. To me, now I can just keep grinding on the 9 EMA. As long as the 9 EMA holds, I can stay in this trade and ride the trend higher.
Yeah, Palantir. So strong. I still have just both those trades. I took them off the open, sold a bit, just holding the rest. But Palantir remained green pretty much the entire time when those things fell off. Right? It's so Palantir is doing very well. Again, if it's one of those days where I think relative strength will definitely shine through. Look for anything that's didn't participate in that move. That's junk. Anything that did, you got a little chance there that's going to be something that the selling may be done in for the short time anyway.
Yeah. And before we go, if we can recap for folks, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, I got to get out of here for sure. We're a little bit in overtime, but you know
Yeah.
how it is here. You get too excited, guys. But yeah, guys, I'm setting up a stop there, guys, in the green for 140 off the 42.17s. Really wanted off the 42. So I'm going to retrace there towards 41.97 here. We'll see if I get cut out of the trade, guys. Really good day overall in both accounts. That newer account really opened it up and did some work with it. So can't be mad at all, guys. You guys can see that 201 here on that smaller name. And it was a lot of these smaller names and selling up into the move here. So BJDX, we'll see what happens with that one. And of course, the funded account in the green again here, but not big. It's up only 17. I'm looking for the bigger move, but I already set a stop there in the green there for this TQQQ trade. And that's going to do it for me and the conversation there. Michael, little bounce back day. We'll see if we're able to hold on to the action here. We cut the 42. Yeah. I'm going to, yep, you guys see it there. It came for me. I just had to take the gains there because it starts to break the 9 EMA, and I'm not trying to hang out for that 9 EMA breakdown, right? I'm just trying to let it keep grinding up. 1, 2, 3. Could recover back and keep going, but I took the cash there. Not going to be mad. Up 147 on the day. We'll keep working, traders. All right, that's going to do it like always, guys. And don't forget, the competition is on. Keep working towards it. Let us know if you have any questions. We'll keep pushing to the next level, and we'll be back tomorrow. Thanks for joining in, Tim. Thanks for joining up, Michael, even out there, even after the doctor's office visit. So it's good to see you guys out there, and we're all going to need a doctor soon if this market continues the way it is. But hey, stay safe out there, my friend. I'm glad to have you on here, just like I'm glad to have all of you guys in the chat. Smash the like, and like always, we're right here for you guys. Trade the